on the field with a straight face. But they can't cancel the games. Right. They have to play the games. So they have to now try and negotiate this and say, well, we just got to call the play that fits the situation and cross our fingers that we're going to block it up. And they can't, literally can't. We saw a number of plays on which there's in-breaking routes in which Jacoby's back foot hits, and he looks, and he bounces, and he looks, then he scoots, then he gets hit, then he throws under duress, then he tucks it and takes a sack. There has to be a plan B to worst case scenario, because they are, quite frankly, dealing with worst case scenario in front of Jacoby Brissett. This is the path they chose with their offensive line and signing Chukes for and saying he'd be a left tackle in drafting Caden Wallace and say, if Chukes doesn't work out, then Caden Wallace is a left tackle. Elliott Wolf and Matt Groh have been part of this staff in bringing the players in. That's where you have to look at it too. And you fold your arms and you look at Alex Van Pelt and say, do something with what? There's no team who would put that.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I love that line. There's no team that would put that line out there because it's been that bad. It's been that bad. That was Tommy Curran, of course, from the Patriots post game yesterday on NBC Sports Boston. And we're back here. It is the final night. We're at 7 p.m. tomorrow. We got a great lead in with Felger and Maz, and then we begin at 6 o'clock going forward the rest of the way, which is great because we're just about a week away from the opening of the Bruins season. And, we have some Bruins news for you today. Of course, the Celtics, they begin their preseason this Friday in Abu Dhabi, so that's going to be very interesting about where that starts out for them against Denver. But we're still in week 4 of the NFL. You get Dolphins and Titans about to kick off in about 10 minutes. I got a pick for you if you'd like some. I have them. And also, there's another game tonight between the undefeated Seattle Seahawks. They take on the Detroit Lions. So a double header here. I'll be with you all night long until 11 o'clock. And the phone number here is 617-779-0985. You can also watch the show on YouTube. It's real easy. You just grab your remote. You hit that little speaker button and you go, YouTube 98.5 The Sports Hub. And then it goes right on your television and pops right up, and you can watch there. If you go on your mobile or on your iPad or some sort of device, you can follow the chat, and there's people already in there tonight hanging out. And, of course, we'll be here until 11 o'clock. And, man, I did this yesterday, post-game with Leroy Irvin. I sat here and told you guys last week that the Patriots had a chance to keep it close. A chance to keep it close. And what I meant by close was within the point spread. The number was 10.5. They lost by 17. They made it to the 18-yard line. And then Nick Bosa said, I want to eat. I want some stats. And then he sacked and strip sacked him. And that was the game. So there was a shot. There was a shot to hang around there. I'll take the L. But it really was disappointing. The 49ers weren't all that much better than the Patriots. In talent, yes. But if the Patriots, I don't know, didn't make mistakes, could catch footballs, just didn't fumble the football, turnovers, coaching matchups, all sorts of things. The 49ers made really 3 good plays all day. Don't throw a pick 6 when your defense is just giving up 6 points on 2 drives. You know, there was one really nice play. Brock Purdy threw it up to George Kittle, who's taller than everybody else, and he made a great play. Besides that, yeah, the Patriots defense got a little bit, but they kept them in it. And here's the deal. You can't give up 13 and then 20 points and have a chance. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. So I'm going to be pretty straightforward. I don't think Jacoby Brissett's good anymore. I thought he was broken, personally. I don't think he can do it here. I don't think he's got the talent anymore. Do I agree with what the Patriots did the first 4 weeks of the year starting Jacoby Brissett? I do. I stand by what they've done. But at this point, they can't continue to put him out there. Is the offensive line terrible? Yep. But is it the offensive line that's missing throws or not finding wide open guys? No, it's not. Is it the offensive line that's giving him some time, but he holds the ball too much and then rolls out and then runs away from it and then gets sacked for holding the ball too long after rolling out? Yes. Jacoby Brissett passing yards through 4 games this year. 536 yards on the season. He's averaging 134 yards per game. They're scoring 13 points per game. I think for me, it's easy to blame Jacoby Brissett. It's easy for all of you to blame the offensive line. Alex Van Pelt's not let off the hook either. Those two were a package deal. 3 turnovers. Awful. But how did it all start? This is the play that got me. And it always seems to happen on third down with this team. And I'll bring it up to the Seattle game. In the Seattle game, on a third down, you decided to try to pass the ball. And instead, you got sacked, which made the kick even harder. It got blocked. Just run the ball. Keep it simple, stupid. And what happened on the first drive of the game yesterday? You're on the 49ers' 41-yard line. And on third down, 3rd and 3, you throw the ball to KJ Osborne for an incompletion. And then you attempt to go for the tush push or line up on 4th down. And you have to punt the ball away because you took a delay a game. Why are you trying to throw the ball on 3rd down? What happened to being the running team that rushed for 170 yards in week 1 and 185 in week 2? I will tell you Jacoby Brissett's not good anymore. I've been telling you he's a broken man. I will now start to tell you Alex Van Pelt's not built for this. I only needed 4 games. I don't know how much longer they can go forward with Jacoby Brissett. But is the answer Drake May? And I'm going to tell you it's probably not. They've already told you they're not signing a veteran. You want to watch this again next week? What do you think the players are starting to do now? And what happened on the final 4th down of the game? Pop Douglas walked off the field. He quit. Pop Douglas quit on the Patriots yesterday. Watch it. Final play of the game. He walks off the field. Polk walks on, gets the deep ball down the sideline. And again, I don't know, you need 3 yards on a 4th down. Let's throw it 40 yards down the field, Alex Van Pelt. Tough day. Fumble by Ramondre Stevenson in his 4th straight week. A pick 6 by Jacoby Brissett, the guy that never turns the ball over. And then stopped on a 4th and 1 on a terrible play call. Terrible. How can the defense sustain this? The game was over in the first half. If the team gives up 20 points, they will lose. I don't know if I can watch another week of this. I don't think I can do it. There's some major injuries now to watch. David Andrews, Kyle Duggar. Best play of the day was Pepper's interception, right? But 4th and 3rd down on a sideline to Polk. Pop Douglas off the field, ruled incomplete. I don't want to see Jacoby Brissett out there again. It doesn't have to be Drake May. It doesn't have to be Joe Milton. You want to see another week of this? The dude is not good. He's not a winning football player. But will Drake May fix it? A lot of people do. A lot of people think that he will. We'll get into that. Bunch of articles out there today. We'll re-rack this one. But after yesterday's game, the team played terrible. The 49ers weren't that good. But it was the get-right game. They're officially the get-right Patriots. 617-779-0985. That's the phone number if you want to jump aboard. I'm Joe Murray here until 11 o'clock tonight. We'll take your calls coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We're with you here tonight until 11 o'clock Wanted to start off with the Patriots just because obviously it's the last thing we saw, and I prepared for it all day long. But as you know in the business, things change on the fly, and whoa, we got ourselves an update on the Jeremy Swayman camp. I needed some time to digest it because I was walking in. I heard Kevin Majore during the baseball hour, the final baseball hour of the year, in the headlines mentioning a response from Jeremy Swayman's agent. And to get you up to speed today on what happened, the Bruins had their press conference today. They were basically talking about the season and maybe why they might not have Fabian Lysell on the team and to start the year, and some of the guys they're going to keep around. And then, well, Cam Neely all of a sudden wanted to speak, and they gave an update on Swayman. And Don Sweeney addressed claims that the Bruins have not been aggressive in the Swayman negotiations, and he feels as though he's pushing back that the Bruins haven't been aggressive. And then Cam Neely comes to the table and just drops a number and about a certain number of reasons of why Jeremy Swayman should want to play for the Bruins. Stenberg, let's hear it tonight, bud.
Kevin Dupont again, Boston Globe. My question's for Jim, but before that, since you say you're a surprise, Cam, can you share any of the specifics here, be it what his ask is in terms of dollars or term?
Well, I don't want to get into the weeds with what his ask is, but I know that I have 64 million reasons why I'd be playing right now.
Whoa. So I've been thinking about this thing all day long and where to go with it and where my thoughts are. For a while, I've probably mentioned this already, but I know people that talk to Jeremy Swayman. I'm not the source. I don't have a source. No, I'm not the source guy. I just talk to the people that talk to him. And from what I gather, nothing's done. Nothing's done, and really nothing's close. Sounds like he wants to come back, and at some point he's going to play this year. That's at least from what I know, and again, you could take my word for it. You don't have to. Whatever. Today, though, when I heard the $64 million, that's essentially the Bruins coming out and saying that that's the offer that he had. And when I first immediately heard it, I called bull on it. I go, they did not give him $64 million, and he turned it down. That was my original thought. And I understand the goalie that's in New York right now is trying to work a new deal where he gets somewhere over close to $12 million. If, for those who think the $8 million or whatever Sweeney said, by the way, it's not Sweeney, Neely said, how do you know it's accurate? He's now throwing stuff out into the media, and now he made it dirty. Cam Neely has made the Jeremy Swayman situation dirty. People laugh at Jeremy Swayman for turning it into a business decision. And now the Bruins throwing out numbers at press conferences? Is that doing good business? I always wanted to blame the Bruins here, not the player. I always wanted to, and I do for doing that. You throw out a number we don't even know is accurate. How the hell do we know the Bruins offered $64 million to Swayman? They could tell us that. It might not be true. They could be doing that to throw stuff into the fire here on the Swayman camp. So what happened today? What happened this afternoon? This happened on my walk-in. Literally on my walk-in today. This on SPM Hockey. It's from Louis Gross. He represents Jeremy Swayman. Normally, I do not release statements or discuss negotiations through the media. However, in this case, I feel I need to defend my client. By the way, this is the first time I'm reading this. At today's press conference, $64 million was referenced. This was the first time that the number was discussed in our negotiations. Prior to the press conference, no offer was made reaching that level. We are extremely disappointed. This was not fair to Jeremy. We will take a few days to discuss where we go from here. This just came from Jeremy Swayman's agent, that the $64 million that was referenced, it was the first time the number was discussed in the negotiations. No offer was made reaching that level. Source swore. Who do you believe? Do you believe Sweeney, Neely, or Swayman's agent? This can't be good for the Bruins. This can't be good for Bruins fans. I'm almost now starting to wonder about this guy's future. Neely also mentioned that when he talked to Swayman, he asked him, does he want to stay in Boston? He indicated that Swayman does. And I believe that part. I believe Swayman wants to stay in Boston. It is so uncharacteristic for the Bruins to bring up a contract number at a press conference. It's completely uncharacteristic. So to me, absolutely wild what is going on with the Bruins. And I did want to just bring up a little while ago, Paul Bissonnette, who's part of the Spit and Chicklets podcast, he tweeted this out before we heard from Swayman's agent. He goes, this was about maybe 20 minutes before Swayman's agent posted on Instagram. The Swayman stuff's about to pop. I would love him in Detroit. I'm hearing statement from Swayman's agent coming. Get the popcorn ready. NHL season off to a huge start. So that was before. How do you feel about this, Bruins fans? Where did things go wrong here? And here's the thing, for all the people who say Swayman's not worth $64 million, he's not worth $64 million. Well, the Bruins feel that way too, according to his agent. Again, when I first heard it, I heard $64 million, and I went, BS, I'm not buying that. According to the agent of Jeremy Swayman, it's true. It is true. All right, 617-779-0985. And there are a lot of things happening at the moment. And I don't know if this is true, guys. Can we, did something major just happen in the sports world? Can you guys I don't want to run with it in headlines if it's not accurate. So I've been trying to do the show. Maybe you guys can be accurate, please, for me on this one, because I don't want to run with it if it's not. But I am seeing rumors, things on Twitter or X about potentially two big names no longer with us today in the sports world. So if you guys can just give me the okay on that before we get the headlines in a minute here, let me know. So I'll line up the phone lines to you at 617-779-0985. We are on YouTube as well. You can join us here. I see guys already in there. We got Patriots on the table. We got the Bruins stuff. This is wild. So there is some news out there that I do want to share with you. And it looks like it has been confirmed, but baseball legend Pete Rose has passed away. Multiple reports have just mentioned he passed away. Obviously, we all know about Pete Rose, the all-time hit leader, the hit king, banned from baseball for betting on sports. Looks like we got multiple sources on this one now. I didn't want to announce it unless it was true, but some big news out of the baseball world. Pete Rose has passed away, and this is just coming out, and it is kind of I not to make light of the matter, but the Cincinnati Reds did post about it on their social. So, anyways, we'll get to the headlines here. I just happened to see all this happening while we're talking. Your thoughts on the Jeremy Swayman situation? We'll hit a quick headline. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Some headlines.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Lots happening. Wow. Came in to complain about the Patriots, and, well, Jeremy Swayman's agent is now getting involved in the mix after Cam Neely's comments today. We'll have more on that. We just got breaking news that Pete Rose has died. The all-time hit leader has passed away, no longer with us. One of the most controversial figures in all of sports. I'm curious how people feel about that one. I'm curious. Obviously, barred from the game of baseball for gambling. Gambled while manager lied about it. I'll tell you a personal story about Pete Rose. I'm a big collector. I went to meet him with Fitterman Sports about a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. I went to WrestleMania. It was, where was I? I was in Dallas. And I went to meet Pete Rose and Ric Flair. And Ric Flair showed up, Pete Rose didn't. So I missed out on my chance to meet Pete Rose. But just hearing about this now, interested to get some people's thoughts on it. At 617-779-0985. On the flip side of it, basketball lost one of the greatest people in their sport ever, Dikembe Mutombo, at the age of 58 years old. Nobody flew in the house of Mutombo, and the Mutombo finger wag, that was on commercials. You saw it. It was mainstream. Had the biggest upset in NBA history at the time, an 8th seed beating a 1 seed. That was Seattle at the time, and he was on the floor holding the basketball crying. It was just an absolutely memorable moment. And I can't sit here today and tell you that between those two who passed away on the same day, they couldn't be further away from each other as human beings. Absolutely wild. So we're here tonight till 11 o'clock. The phone number is 617-779-0985. I see people in our chat. They're getting in on this one tonight with their thoughts. But just to kind of recap a couple of things that we discussed, Jeremy Swayman's agent has spoken. And I've heard some things about this guy that I know a lot of people might not be Team Gross on this one. But this was the quote a little while ago from Louis Gross, who represents Jeremy Swayman. Normally, I do not release statements or discuss negotiations through the media. However, in this case, I feel I need to defend my client. At today's press conference, $64 million was referenced. This was the first time that number was discussed in our negotiations. Prior to the press conference, no offer was made reaching that level. We are extremely disappointed. This was not fair to Jeremy. We will take a few days to discuss where we go from here. And I mentioned this to you a little while ago, but Paul Bissonnette from Spittin' Chicklets, he came out and basically said that we were going to hear from Swayman's side that Swayman stuff's about to pop, would love him in Detroit. I'm hearing a statement from Swayman's agents coming. Get the popcorn ready. NHL season off to a huge start. Should also be mentioned that the Bruins did announce that Jonas Korpisalo will be the starter on opening night for the Bruins, which is a week from tomorrow. So that is on the table. And, of course, we started tonight with Jacoby Brissett. It's not working. It's not working. And a bunch of things happened in that first half. The fumble by Ramondre Stevenson, his 4th straight. A pick 6 by Jacoby Brissett. And being stopped on 4th and 1. You go down 20-3 at halftime. What are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to hang around in that game? How are you supposed to hang around? And Jacoby Brissett's passing yards through 4 games at 536. He's averaging 134 yards a game. The team's averaging 13 a game. They've scored 16 points in 2 games. That is not good. It's not good. Where do they go from here? Don't think Drake May's the fix. Your thoughts on everything happening. 617-779-0985. I'm trying to... There's a lot going on over here right now, and I'm trying to process it all, and I'm sure you are too. So we can talk about whatever you'd like. Let's open up the phone lines here. Let's talk to Brett. He's in the car. What's up, Brett?
Yeah, hey, Joe. What's going on, man?
What's up, bud?
Not much. You actually just broke the Pete Rose news to me while I'm in the car. And my initial thoughts is it's kind of a shame that this guy isn't ever, he's not ever going to get to see the credit he deserves in terms of being in the Hall of Fame. And, I get betting on baseball and what he did was obviously against the rules of the game. But I don't believe he ever bet on his team to lose. I believe when he was betting on his teams, it was to win. And I think kind of just the whole thing that happened with Ohtani this year and how that whole scenario played out, I think it's a shame. So I want to get your opinion, see what you think. Well,
I've learned, Stenberg, I've done radio for 17 years now. This is what I'll tell you is, I don't know when it's too soon. In this market, and Joe, our intern's here, so I want him to learn this one too. When something happens like this, breaking news, it's kind of hard to give your initial opinion on it because it's too soon, right? When you think about Pete Rose, the first thing that comes up is gambling. He gambled on the game of baseball, and he lied about it. And therefore, he is not eligible for the Hall of Fame. Does Pete Rose belong in the Hall of Fame for what he did in the game of the baseball? Absolutely. But you're taught at such a young age. Have you ever seen the movie, 8 Men Out? Everyone knows about the Black Sox scandal. We come on now. When you grow up playing the game of baseball, you know that story. And I talk about this all the time when it comes to Hall of Fame players. If you can't talk about them when talking about the game, they don't belong. You can't talk about the game of baseball without bringing up Pete Rose. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be. But because he gambled on sports, the commissioner banned him from it. So my initial reaction to should he be in the Hall of Fame, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But he did something that everyone knew that if you did it, you would be banned from the game, and he did it. And now that he's dead, it's like, oh yeah, put him in now. I don't know how to handle that. I don't know how to react to that. I don't know what's right and wrong with that. I just know it's too soon. It's too soon to give an actual take on what should happen here. And it's what happens in the sports world. When you hear someone passes, you can't just go right to it. Remember Adam Schefter a while back? Who's the quarterback? Dwayne Haskins passed away. Well, his headline said, first round bust or whatever it was right away. When is it too soon? All I can tell you is that if you heard it here and I broke the news to you, I didn't want to. I didn't want to be the guy to do that. But it has been confirmed. Pete Rose, the all-time leader in hits and games played, has passed away at the age of 83. You can certainly talk about it tonight. We got a football game underway as well. We'll give you the score to that coming up after this. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
successful this year and step forward and all that type of stuff. When you look at 5 games back in the wild card, 13 in the division, 9th in the American League. Have the goalposts moved on what a successful season this year?
No, they haven't. Nope.
What is the successful season to you in the Red Sox?
Playing baseball in October.
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Sam Kennedy of the Red Sox, whatever his title is. Whenever he talks, I don't like it. Not going to do much Red Sox on tonight's show. I just wanted to let everyone know they went 81-81 this year, which I would not call a successful season. Some people think so. It's not so much about the season. I think if you really want to look at it, there was this period of time, probably August, September-ish, early. They just lost so many games in extra innings. They blew just tons of leads. That's where I would kind of look at it this year. I actually liked the moves that they made. They didn't work out at the deadline. I'm glad they did them. They didn't work out. But they did them. But I don't know. I just watched some baseball today. I'm watching the Mets. Watching the Mets in the playoffs is good for the game of baseball. Watching the Braves win today after they scratched Chris Sale, by the way. Chris Sale was supposed to start the biggest game of the year for the Braves, and he got scratched with a back injury. So that happened, and then they went on to win. So the Arizona Diamondbacks, who went to the World Series last year, I believe, are no longer in the playoffs. But the whole thing about the Red Sox, I'm not going to bore you with all this, but they may tell you they made a push. They were in it until the final week of the year. They did somewhat barely miss the playoffs. But in reality, they were 5 games out. Out of the 15 teams in the American League, they were 9th. And in the American League East, they were behind by 13 games. So don't give me that you were a good team and that you almost made it out. Sorry. And Alex Cora wanted to say today that the reason why he came back is because ownership guaranteed him, or at least made some commitments about improving the team. At this point, the Boston Red Sox, John Henry, all you guys, because where was John Henry? Was he? Oh, he wasn't at the thing today. I didn't see him there, did you? I didn't see Tom Warner there either. Huh. I wanted something. You know what I wanted today? Don't tell me about your season. Don't tell me about who you like and that you were close and all that. Tell me that you're going to spend money next year and that you are going to make the playoffs. Don't tell us, well, the goal is to play in October. No. Say that you're going to improve the team and you want to go to the playoffs. Sam Kennedy denies that the Red Sox have moved the goalposts on what they consider a successful season. I will tell you, sir, that you don't have goalposts. That guy, out. The Red Sox finished the season at 500. They were expected to be mediocre, I'll give you that. But, 38-43 at Fenway Park, that's laughable. You went 38-43 in front of your home fans? 38-43. Don't even get me started on the Patriots and how they are at home yet, Stenberg. We'll worry about that another day. I'll just stick to the Red Sox quickly. 38-43 at Fenway Park, and they went 25-27 against divisional opponents. Woof. Ugh. Just the more I think about the Red Sox, the more I just don't care. Like I need some personality. I need some leaders. I need a reason to check in all the time. For a period of time, I watched the team. At the beginning of the year, I watched. I'm one of the guys who did not blame ownership this year. There are these people out there who, well, I'm not going to watch those owners. No, I want this team played good baseball games. They played entertaining games. They didn't have the staff. And late in the year and after the All-Star break, they fell apart. Cora got his contract and the team tanked. That's just what happened. That's a fact. And they had a chance, final week of the year. All of a sudden, they cared about it. And when they finally lost, they sent Kenley Jansen home, which I think his days in Boston are over. Having to send him home like that, you lose a big part of your bullpen going forward. I'm really curious what they do next year. I think they need to spend some money, bring some big names. In anything, leadership, there's no leaders on this team. Some guys want to be, like Cassis. Duran's not a leader. Don't give me that. Don't. No. The way he talks to fans and the way he reacts and his quick wit, out. That guy's not a leader. Out. They need leadership. That 2013 team, I know it's easy to reference World Series teams. That was not a World Series roster by any means, talent-wise. They had a bunch of leaders. A bunch of them. This team needs one. They don't have any. That's my goal for the Red Sox. All right, no more Red Sox talk. That's it. I'm done for the season, unless something happens. No more. The phone number here is 617-779-0985. We'll get back into the Patriots stuff. This Swayman thing, though. What side of the street do you sit on? Are you on Team Swayman or are you on Team Bruins? A lot of people think that the agent of Jeremy Swayman, not a good guy. Could there be a little poison in there as well? We'll get you the Sports Hub headlines. There is a football game going on right now. There's another one about to kick off in about 15 minutes. And I have a pick on that game, which I'll give it to you. Coming up here on the other side. And we have a quarterback change for the Tennessee Titans. I will tell you who that is because I am actually not sure who it is just yet. But I know that there's a quarterback change there. We'll tell you what it is, the score in that, and some sad news in the sports world today. We'll tell you all that in Sports Hub headlines coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
From the Towns Fair Tire Studios, the Patriots.
Into the end zone!
Touchdown
for the Patriots!
WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Monday Night Football underway right now in Miami between the Dolphins and Tennessee Titans. No score, just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Will Levis has left the game. Looked like it was an injury. Mason Rudolph has taken over in the game. Tyler Huntley starting tonight for the Miami Dolphins for the injured Skylar Thompson and Tua Tagovailoa. Coming up in just about 15 minutes, the Seattle Seahawks. They'll take on the Detroit Lions. Lions 4-point favorites in that one. Patriots looking at the tape after yesterday's loss to the 49ers. They take on those said Dolphins next Sunday. MLB playoffs today. Well, looks like the Mets are in and the Braves are in. The Diamondbacks season is over. Chris Sale was supposed to start Game 2 today, but he got scratched with a back issue. But the Braves won anyways. And sad news out of Major League Baseball, Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83. NBA news today, Dikembe Mutombo passed away at the age of 58. And Cam Neely today said that there were 64 million reasons why Jeremy Swayman should play this season. Of course, Jeremy Swayman's agent came back out today and said that the 64 million that was referenced today, it was the first time that number was ever discussed. A lot going on. Headlines, they are brought to you by Eastern Mass's leader in drain cleaning and pipelining. Drains by James. Slow drain, clog drain. You need to contact Drains by James today at drainsbyjames.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update in 30 minutes.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown serves the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Everybody knows Joe.
Just keeps getting better.
Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm going to talk to Alex Barth coming up in just about 20 minutes. Get his thoughts on the Patriots yesterday. But whenever the Patriots have a really bad loss, there's no one who makes me feel better more than Dan Shaughnessy. Mentor of mine, I love. Had him on when the big sale news came out for the Celtics. And, well, yesterday on postgame, I was pretty livid about never seeing Jacoby Brissett again. I'll say this about Brissett real quick. He's fine. He's tough. He's a good dude, good teammate. He's been a very good mentor over the years. Sam Howell and others. He really has. And the first couple of weeks, he made some really good plays with a bad offensive line. He's one of their leaders, one of their captains, no doubt about it. But there's always a but, right? The dude can't make plays anymore. He can't make plays. Blame the offensive line, blame Alex Van Pelt, blame the receivers, whatever you want to blame, go ahead. They're just going back to him right now because they don't want to go to Drake May. They're refusing to bring in a veteran. They're not going to play Joe Milton. They're just going to put Brissett out there week in and week out. It's going to crush the team. The locker room is going to melt, and Alex Van Pelt might not make it for the year. I can't continue to watch it. We've seen enough. And that's the headline by Dan Shaughnessy of the Boston Globe. Drake May should take over as the Patriots quarterback now. Mayday, mayday, the SS Craft is taking on water. The good ship and the crew are at peril, and the gales of October may come early. Whatever. I love this guy. Serious football scholars insist we're not supposed to talk about playing Drake May over Jacoby Brissett because the rookie quarterback would be permanently damaged. If he were thrust into the starting role Sunday against the Dolphins, the number 3 pick in the 2024 draft needs to learn by watching, and it's too much to ask him to start an NFL game behind a Swiss cheese 5, a.k.a. the Patriots offensive line. We don't care. We've seen enough, and it just keeps getting worse. Yes, Dan, I'm on your team on this one. It's getting worse. And don't make me pull up the Matt Patricia numbers from 3 years ago and the Bill O'Brien numbers, the McDaniel numbers, because they're all better than what's happening right now. I'll save that for another day. He goes on to remember Steve Martin from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? After many hours of enduring John Candy's character, he finally explodes and says, I can't tolerate you anymore. For days, I could sit there and listen to them go on and on with a big smile on my face. That's the comparison he gives to this. It's the experience of watching the Patriots offense with Brissett at quarterback. And Sunday's 30-13 loss of the 49ers was so bad, it almost made me wish the Red Sox season was still going. I love that guy. Oh, Brissett is the ultimate stand-up guy. A man's man. He's tough and loyal. He's a gamer. We want him to teach our children. He's a professional athlete who's a true role model. We wish he'd run for president or at least become the next host of Jeopardy. Wow. But we don't want to see him running the offense anymore. It's painful. I think I said it the same way. The Patriots have had 4 starting left tackles in 4 games, and it shows. Brissett is running for his life on almost every play. He's scrambling like Fran Tarkenton from the 1970s. And he's directing an offense from the pre-AFL 1950s. New England simply has no downfield passing game. None. We're not asking for Peyton Manning to Marvin Harrison or Joe Montana to Jerry Rice or Y.A. Tittle to Del Schaffner. We're gladly settle for Jim Plunkett to Randy Vatha. Jesus. Throwback. Drew Bledsoe to Vincent Brisby. Heck, you can even give us Zoda, Greg McMurtry. But this is ridiculous. Pop Douglas, Jalen Polk, Kayshon Boutte are unable to get separation. And on 4th down around draft pick Javon Baker, the guy who told us bring your popcorn, may make people in wheelchairs stand up. Well, dude hasn't been active and has done nothing. He hasn't even been targeted. And he calls Brissett the pocket pinata. He was hired to take a beating, and he's earning every penny of his $6.5 million guaranteed. He was sacked 5 times, hurried 11, in a 24-3 loss to the Jets, and was sacked 6 times in 10 hurries. Sack, fumble, recovery. That's what happened in the game. And New England's offense looks like it was drawn up by Walter Camp and Clark Shaughnessy. After Sunday's loss, when Mayo was asked about switching quarterbacks, he talked about watching game film, doing a better job of protecting and getting the ball out of our hand. At this point, Jacoby's our starting quarterback. Mayo said the same thing Monday morning. We understand the common sense of it. We know you don't put the team in the hands of a kid until the season is officially over. But the time is now. The competitive part of the Patriots season's over. They might win another 2 or 3 games, but they aren't going anywhere. And not even if the gang of craft news service WBZ Channel 4 is going to convince us otherwise. Time for Drake to walk into the fire. He has witnessed Brissett taking one for the team. He knows the score. He's not going to learn anymore watching this weekly carnage. The Dolphins might have the worst defense in the NFL. The future is now. We want the Drake. That courtesy of one Dan Shaughnessy. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Matt's in Plymouth. Go ahead, Matt.
Oh, it's Al.
Oh, hey, Al. How you doing?
I'm sorry, dude. I'm dying right now with that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles reference. But another one right after he says that to John Candy, he said, "This is so perfect for the current Patriots team." He goes, "You're not even amusing accidentally."
It's terrible. No, it's
they really are. They're not amusing accidentally.
No, it's this is why Dan Shaughnessy's a Hall of Fame writer, right? Like he knows how to put it into you understand. You called in because it triggered you, right?
Yeah. He goes. Didn't you notice on the plane I started reading the vomit bag? I can picture all the.
But that's what's going on here.
Yeah, right. Like the fans are all reading the vomit bag.
It's the same thing.
It is so bad. All right, man.
Appreciate it, Al. Thank you, man. Who would have thought the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles would have a significance to the Patriots? Robert's in Oxford. Hey, Robert.
Hey, Joe. So don't get me wrong. I don't like the way that things are looking right now. But I don't think that you can put Drake May in this if you want long-term success. We're back. Don't get me wrong. This is what happens with bad teams like the Browns and the Jaguars and all of those historically bad teams. They rush in their top 5 quarterbacks who they get every 3 years and ruin them. And I don't want that for long-term success.
Yeah, but okay, all right. And here's what I would tell you this: as Dan Shaughnessy wrote in the article that I just referenced,
yep,
nobody wants Drake May to play, and they don't want to get a veteran. So what do? You're not playing Joe Milton, and you no longer can actually learn. What is Drake May learning on the sideline watching this disaster every week? What is he learning anymore? You want him to learn from this? Oh, but he needs to develop. He needs to watch and sit behind a veteran. You want him to sit behind and watch this? It's awful. It's awful. 617-779-0985. That's the phone number. Reading in the chat. This is a bad team, man. Let the kid play. Yes, Riz. It's a bad team. I mean, he's not going to learn anything. Can he develop in practice? He can. But, what's he going to learn watching Jacoby Brissett out there get his butt kicked week in and week out? For real. Anyways, we're going to talk to Alex Barth coming up in a little bit. People are calling in. I don't understand. Am I missing something here? I keep getting people trying to tell me about Pete Rose's death. Yes, Pete Rose died, everybody. He's no longer with us. Sad news out of the baseball world. Dikembe Mutombo passed away, too. Sad. Very sad. And Jeremy Swayman's agent is not going down without a fight. He ain't learning. That's what Riz wrote. You know, you're right, Riz. You're right, bro. Joe, what's your pick for tonight? I like the Lions to cover the 3.5. How about that? All right, we'll talk to Alex Barth. He is from 98.5thesportshub.com. What does he think the Patriots should do? We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You gotta try the 99 Restaurant's new $14.99 Big Deal Meals. For hearty, full-sized entrees for just $14.99 every Monday through Wednesday, like the roasted turkey dinner or juicy chopped sirloin. You gotta love the nines.
Grab your lederhosen and bring your friends to Harpoon Oktoberfest on Friday, October 4th and Saturday, October 5th. Celebrate with brewery fresh beers, OOPA and rock bands, and more at the Harpoon Brewery in the Seaport. Visit harpoon.com for tickets and info.
The weather is changing, football season is here, and we cannot be more excited about the season here at 128. This is Ryan Williams with 128 Plumbing, Heat, and Cooling and Electric, and it is officially time to check your heating system before the season begins. At 128, preventative maintenance on your heating and air conditioning systems is a core focus. We have a dedicated department to ensure that your system is working effectively and efficiently all season long. If it has been a few years since your system has been checked, give us a call at 888-CALL-128 or visit us online at call128.com.
You could be celebrating much more than just touchdowns this season by visiting findmassmoney.gov. Here in Massachusetts, 1 in 10 people have unclaimed property from things like uncashed paychecks, refunds from overpaid bills, or forgotten savings accounts. I found my money at findmassmoney.gov, and so could you. Findmassmoney.gov is free, easy to use, and it only takes 30 seconds to search your name. So while you're celebrating those game-winning plays, why not score a touchdown of your own with some cash? Go to findmassmoney.gov today and see if you have money waiting for you.
TD, Tutty in for 6. Touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. We don't care how they score them. We want to bet on touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook is delivering. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SportsHub. That's code SportsHub for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Hope is
Low, he's still out. They just don't have enough offensive linemen right now. And if you're going to be bringing guys in off the street and starting them, there's going to be a ceiling on that group.
All right, have you separated yet the offensive line and the quarterback? And I don't know, just blind's eye. I was watching it from far away again on television, probably like you. I didn't think the line was terrible. I thought Brissett might have been a little bit worse than I thought yesterday, and added to a lot of it, was a detriment to the offense.
Yeah, this was the first week I felt that way. I'm kind of somebody who's said that, it's been a little overblown about Jacoby Brissett holding the ball too long and things like that. And I still think that's true for the first 3 games. He didn't do himself any favors yesterday, especially in the first half. In the second half, the offensive line just started getting beat bad. But, yeah, this was especially in a game where the coaching staff talked during the week about needing to get the ball out quick. He did not help himself yesterday.
Oh, he did not. And I thought that's what the week was about, right? This whole Drake May ascension. 2 things can be true, right? Drake May could be ascending in practice, but it could be a way to motivate Brissett. What else? I guess my question is, what else does Brissett have to do really bad in order to get benched in the following week? Because I'm watching Miami right now. It doesn't look good. The line's a pick 'em, by the way. So the Patriots struggle at home to begin with. It's just like, how bad does it have to be bad for Brissett not to be the quarterback anymore?
I don't even think it's about Jacoby Brissett at this point. I think he would have to get hurt. And that's not to say maybe there isn't a situation where it just becomes so atrocious, but, they've made it clear they don't want to start Drake May yet. And I think that's independent of what Jacoby Brissett is giving them. So, yeah, I don't know that there is, if that makes sense. I don't know it's about Jacoby Brissett playing poorly. I just think their timeline is their timeline, whether that's about Drake May's development, whether it's about the offensive line, whether it's about getting the offense as a whole kind of going a little bit more in this new system. He was better than Brissett at the end of camp. So I don't think it's about the level of play between the two of them. I think it's about more just where May is at on his own.
All right, talking to Alex Barth, 98.5thesportshub.com. Just what's up with Ramondre Stevenson? And do you think he should be benched for Antonio Gibson starting next week to be a starter?
That's a tough question, and this is going to be one of the toughest things the coaching staff has to deal with this week, because on one hand, there's got to be consequences. 4 fumbles in 4 games. He's lost 2. That one yesterday comes early in the game. He's not doing a particularly good job of taking care of the football on that play. You can't just kind of let that slide. But on the other hand, he's a top 2 playmaker in the offense, and the other guy, Demario Douglas, they really have struggled to get involved. So if you're going to be the team you want to be and run the ball and create explosive plays that way, you kind of need him on the field. I certainly wouldn't start him. I'm with you on that. I would have Antonio Gibson take the first snap, maybe even the first series. But there also is this element of you really limit as limited as the offense is, you limit it even further if you don't play them. So the coaching staff's going to have to decide really where they fall on that. It's not an easy decision to make. If he fumbles again, though, I think that has to be it, and you have to sit him.
What do you think it is? Too much contact, trying to do too much because of the pressure with the offense? He's coming back from the injury too. It's just, I think he's putting too much pressure on himself.
I think the first couple trying to do too much, just fighting for yards that weren't there, and when you leave yourself up and leave yourself exposed, there's a bunch of defenders around you, more guys can punch the ball. The one yesterday was just sloppy. He just hit the hole with the ball away from his body. So that's what made it so shocking. It's not like, there's this great play on the football to knock it loose. He left the ball exposed after they said that ball security was a point of emphasis this week in practice. It's not just that he fumbled again, it's the nature in which he fumbled again that was so shocking.
What are your thoughts on the defense? Obviously, the numbers show that they're not the defense they were a year ago. Is it the injuries? I still think they're short at corner, and literally short when George Kittle catches it right over everybody. But what's going on defense? Are they just missing Bentley and some other guys?
Yeah, no, they're literally not the defense they were at the start of the summer. We thought they were going to have Christian Barmore. We thought they were going to have Matthew Judon. We thought they were going to have Juwan Bentley. Now they may be without Kyle Duggar. I mean, that's 4 of their top 5, 4 of their top 6 players right there. It's Jabril Peppers and Keon White, and Christian Gonzalez and Keon White. That's who's left. Like, they've lost multiple cornerstone defensive play. When I say lost, yes, they traded Matthew Judon, and that was up to them. But the reality is he was on the roster. Now he's not. This is not the same defense that it was at the start of camp. We talked about this defense maybe being a top 10 unit. Without Judon, without Bentley, it's not. Like they don't have that ceiling. That's a lot of talent that you need to replace, especially for some of the guys up front. A guy like Bentley, a guy like Judon, where they don't have a ton of depth at linebacker. They don't have a ton of depth at the edge. And Josh Uche has really been struggling. I think the reason that he played as late in that game as he did was that they didn't necessarily have another option. So, yeah, it's different players. It's a different unit. It's a different makeup than it was not even last season, as recently as July.
Yeah, and obviously losing more players yesterday. Now that is there an update on David Andrews? Do you think he's going to miss time?
No update yet. I know he was further checked out today when they got back to the facility. Remember the Bentley one? The initial report was he was going to be fine, and then we found out he was going to be out for the year. So I almost feel like no news is good news. That could change at any second. We'll see what happens Wednesday, but that's not a guy they can afford to have miss time. Veteran leader on the offensive line, important in helping set the protections in this scheme, and they don't really have a backup center. That never really got settled coming out of the summer. Everybody they tried there struggled. Nick Leverett was the best option. He was good until he fell off late, and I actually think he did an okay job yesterday. But, again, like we saw this summer, the wheels can fall off with him at any second. The only other center they have on the roster is a guy on the practice squad named Brian Hudson, who's a rookie. I wouldn't be surprised if they go out and look to add another center this week, even if Andrews can play, just to add some depth.
Man. There was so many things this offseason that they missed on, don't you feel like? I mean, in hindsight now, right? Offensive line. How about a veteran quarterback?
Yeah, I don't think it's in hindsight, Joe. Or some of it isn't. Like, I'll be honest. I thought Jacoby Brissett made sense at the time. I also thought they were going to get Drake May a little quicker. But, the offensive line issues are not in hindsight. We knew going back to free agency they didn't have enough at tackle. Center became pretty clear once camp started, and they had opportunities to add there. The lack of depth on the edge was something that we saw early on in camp. So some of it's not in hindsight. Some of this is things that we knew they were going to have issues with, and they're now having issues with.
All right, Alex. Just one thing on I mentioned the veteran here. Like, I understand, like, Drake May, they don't want to play him. Why play him behind this? I get all that. But I can't watch Brissett anymore, man. Like, they're just not going to go with a veteran, are they?
No, Gerard Mayo said that outright the other day. No, they're not. So I think it's Jacoby Brissett till it's not, until either they make the switch or, maybe very possibly with this offensive line he gets hurt. And then Drake May takes over, which is the weirdest thing about this. They're so staunchly against putting May in now, yet they're leaving themselves exposed to snap of the fingers. He could be in there. He could be the guy.
It makes no sense. I thought Van Pelt was terrible yesterday on the third down, at the 41, 3rd and 3 pass, incomplete, fake to go for it on 4th, take the delay of game. Like, is it Van Pelt making these calls, and on these 4th down calls, is it Mayo? Is it Rothstein? I mean, whatever it is, it's not working.
So usually, so it's Mayo's decision to go or not, and how I don't know how much Rothstein's informing him on that, but it's his call. The play call is Van Pelt, and what actually bugged me more than punting on that 4th and 3 with the delay. A little bit later in the game, they have a 4th and 1. They come out in a tush-push look on a long 4th and 1. Like, that was not a tush-push situation. Try to get the Niners to jump. They don't. They burn the timeout only to end up actually going for it, which that always bugs me. If you want to bluff them initially, bluff them, or call the timeout to kick. If you line up to go, you go. You shouldn't burn a timeout there. When they do line up to go, they bring Caden Wallace in as an extra tackle. So they have two tackles over on the right side, Mike Onwenu and Caden Wallace, probably their two best run blockers, and they run it to the left instead, and Ramondre Stevenson gets stopped. This is now the second time they've done something like that. If you go back to the third and short against Seattle in overtime, they actually go unbalanced line, but they run it to the weak side, and they just I get not wanting to be too predictable.
Today. You're right. I saw this today. If maybe Taylor Kyle's had it, but I saw this. They were unbalanced, running onto their. What is all that about?
I don't know, but they've now done it twice. And look, I get not wanting to be predictable, but at a certain point, you got to be, especially if you want to be a run first team, you got to be able to say, all right, we're running the ball here. You know it. We know it. Stop us, and just exert your will and get a yard, get 2 yards. And this is twice now where they've gotten too cute in those situations, and now it's a pattern. And I think that's a very fair second guess of Alex Van Pelt.
Week 4 is coming up. Obviously, Kendrick Bourne made the trip. They're going to start the clock on him. Could he help? I mean, obviously he's a good player, but can he help?
I mean, I'm not going to say he can't help, but right now they just barely have enough time to throw the ball. And he can create after the catch a little bit, so, still there's something there, but they're getting pressured on half their dropbacks, and there's only so much a wide receiver is going to do about that.
And anybody else? If Duggar misses time, do they bring Mapu in? When do they start the clock on those guys?
Yeah, Mapu and Sione Takitaki are the two other guys really need to watch. Takitaki, they need help at off-ball linebacker. Jelani Tavai, remember the first year here, he wasn't great, and they were playing him off the ball. The next year they moved him to the edge, and he turned into a very good player. He's just not an off-the-ball linebacker. He's playing there right now. So Sione Takitaki gives them another off-ball linebacker. Yeah, Marte Mapu, if Kyle Duggar is going to miss time, he can certainly fill in that role. Those are two guys to watch. I know I've gotten a lot of questions about Cole Strange. I think he's at least a few more weeks away. They don't sound like they're expecting him back in the immediate future.
All right, Alex, I don't want to box you into being just a football guy. You got to take on this Swayman thing that's going on?
Yeah, I do. I'm nervous. I'm nervous, and I wasn't really to this point. And it was kind of like one of those things where, they have time to get it done. They'll get it done. Taking shots at each other in the media now, things like that. You can't feel good about that if you're a Bruins fan, and it's going to be really interesting to see when the season starts. What does the goaltending play look like? Obviously, if it's bad, the Bruins have a ton of pressure on them. They just kind of cave to what Jeremy Swayman's looking for. What if goalie Bob did his thing, though? What if Korpisalo is good? What if Brandon Bussey is good? Do we potentially start talking about them trading the rights to Jeremy Swayman? Like, it's going to be fascinating to start the season, but it's kind of crazy things have gone this far. You see these negotiations all the time, and people panic, and you see people be like, it'll get figured out. It ultimately gets figured out. It doesn't feel like they're close to getting it figured out if this is how they're playing it out in the public.
Yeah, I don't feel good about it at all, actually. And here's the deal. If they never even offered $64 million, isn't that like embarrassing? If he says 64 million reasons why, and they feel like they never got that offer. Oof.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how you come back from that if you're Swayman's camp. They'd have every right to be livid. And on the flip side, if the Bruins did offer that and Swayman said no, Jeremy Swayman's a really good player, of course, but I don't know that the Bruins should be writing him a blank check either. There should be a point where they just kind of hold their ground.
Well, at least that's more interesting than what we saw on offense yesterday. So, wolf.
I'll say this for more on Swayman. Matt Sauce and Ty Anderson did a great job today down at Bruins Media Day. So check out their stuff on 98.5thesportshub.com.
There you go, putting over his guys. They share a room back there. I'm sure you guys have takes on everything in there. Over at 98.5thesportshub.com. Check him out. He's Alex Barth. Alex, appreciate it, man. And watching this Dolphins team, I don't know. Maybe the Pats have a shot.
There were people trying to tell me that this is a superior product to Georgia, Alabama.
Get out of here.
And I want to know where those people are right now.
Jeez, Boise State and Washington State were better than some of the things I've watched this week.
That's right. Ashton Jeanty, Joe.
He might be the best running back we've seen in a long time. Maybe since Saquon.
I think he should win the Heisman if he keeps this up.
Yeah, too bad. Well, Boise's all right, I guess.
They're ranked.
That's right. Yeah, he might be the best running back. I said Saquon, but Saquon was a different kind of animal.
Well, I mean, since Saquon?
Yeah, probably right.
He's right there with Bijan to me.
Oh,
Bijan was at Texas. It's different, but
Bijan. All right, that's a good one. Well, he's already watching the draft, so I'm ready for that as well. Hey, by the way, real quick on that. Have you been hearing that teams are down on some first-round picks this year?
I know some people are skeptical about Will Campbell because of his arm length. We're just going to have to see what that is at the combine, but not a ton besides that, no.
Yeah, I heard it's somewhat of a weak draft, people feel.
I think it is. I think some of it is it's a defensive-heavy draft, and that's just obviously not where a lot of people's attention is in the modern game. But it's not last year. Outside the running back position's nuts, but outside of that, yeah, it's not. We'll see. I feel like this time of year, everybody always says it's a weak draft.
All right, he's Alex Barth. Everyone, check him out at 98.5thesportshub.com. Alex, appreciate your time, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
You got it. It's Alex Barth, everyone. Go check him out. Hangs out with Doloff and Ty Anderson in the back room back there. So, anyways, I see people in the chat hanging out, having fun. A lot of people in there. 85 people in there right now. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate that. Coming up here on the other side, there was a big trade that happened. Stenberg, you missed it on Friday night. Happened like 9:30, and I'm like, oh, great. We'll tell you about that trade. We'll do that coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Monday Night Football.
New York Knicks haven't drafted a superstar since Patrick Ewing in 1985. And I look at trade scenarios because let me tell you something right now. The Minnesota Timberwolves, you can't keep Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. I think you have to let go of Karl Anthony Towns. I love Karl Anthony Towns in New York. I'd love to see Jalen Brunson passing him the ball. I wish I could see it with him, Julius Randle, and Karl Anthony Towns. You got 11 picks over the next 7 years. If I'm the New York Knicks, I'm getting on the phone with Minnesota. I'm offering picks. I'm offering a couple of players. I'm offering at least 2 picks. I'm willing to give up 3 first-round picks plus a couple of players, including R.J. Barrett. If I can get my hands on Karl Anthony Towns, yes, I would be down for that. I definitely would be down for that. I just don't know if it's going to happen.
Ah, yes. Always. Stephen A. Smith. Who predicted this, by the way? That was a spoiler from about a year ago. Stephen A. Smith said New York should go out and get Karl Anthony Towns. I wonder if he knew something. You know? Was there something out there? Always. Karl Anthony Towns, the cat. New York should go get him. They did. So Karl Anthony Towns, now a member of the New York Knicks. What's it mean for the Celtics? Well, now there's someone else to cover Kristaps Porzingis or Al Horford. In a way, I think it's an upgrade for New York, but they do lose DiVincenzo in the deal. They lose a future first-round pick. But they're taking on a lot of money. I mean, let's not forget Jalen Brunson turned down this big deal, turned down an extra $100 million to stay in New York. Maybe it was to get a Karl Anthony Towns. I think they lose a little bit of toughness, though, and I think if you're going to beat the Celtics, that's the way you beat them. With toughness, not finesse, not scoring. New York made a big move, though. It's an upgrade. Certainly, no doubt about it, an upgrade. But is it better than Philly? Is it better than Milwaukee? It's definitely a big name. And by the way, I think the Timberwolves got a huge deal here. They get Randall in. They still have Naz Reid. Gobert's still there. They got some issues going on with their ownership group and financials. They get the first-round pick to build around Anthony Edwards. That's a good NBA trade here. But $200 million is now going towards New York's salary cap. But I think that they'll be competitive for the next 4 years. I don't think it helps them this year. And I said this a couple of nights ago. I don't think it helps them this year. But in 2-3 years, depending on what happens with the Celtics, I think New York could be in business. So your thoughts at 617-779-0985. A bunch on the board. We have the Jeremy Swayman situation. Of course, we got the news tonight that Pete Rose has passed away. And I should also mention that Dikembe Mutombo passed away at the age of 58. Nobody flies in the house of Mutombo. And, again, he had one of the biggest moments in NBA history, defeating Seattle as an 8th seed, defeating a 1 seed. Let's talk to Spencer. He's in Beverly. What's going on, Spence?
Hey, Joe. Great show, man.
Thanks,
I was
buddy.
at that Knicks roast beef tonight, baby. Let me tell you, a rare junior, extra sauce, mayo cheese, and a little onion. Oh, my. That was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
How are you feeling now?
I feel like $1 million after that Knicks roast beef. It's the best thing that's ever happened to the North Shore. It really is. Anyways, I got 2 things I want to talk about. One's the Bruins, second's the Celtics. Now, look, Swayman, he's a talent. I'd argue he's a top 4 or 5 guy in the league at his position right now. He hasn't won a cup. He hasn't got us out of the second round. But the kid's got some talent, right? And he has a value. And I understand positioning himself because the cap's changing and all this. But $8 million potentially for 8 years was offered to him. I can't confirm it, but that's what we're hearing. That's $64 million. And he just snickers at it and walks away. At some point, he's getting too greedy.
Did you miss the report or no? From his
what was the report?
Okay. So his agent is denying that they were offered $64 million.
Okay. Thank you for the correction. I think he's worth 8, but that's it.
Okay,
I won't go any further.
Well, if you think he's worth 8, according to his agent, they haven't offered it.
Well, look, if they don't sign him, the team's going nowhere. Without a number one goaltender, rely on these two guys you got, they're horrible. They're not going to get you anywhere in the playoffs deep. Horrible.
Horrible.
These guys can't even play.
Oh.
If we start the season in Florida with one of these goalies without Swayman,
Korpisalo can't play at all?
You think that guy's going to lead you to a cup?
I don't.
You think he's going to pull a Tim Thomas for us?
I don't, but I mean, do you think the Bruins are going to a cup?
I think with a healthy Swayman and a healthy team going into the playoffs, instead of losing in Game 6 to the Florida, you beat them maybe in 6 or 7. And that team's now tough enough with those acquisitions they made with the Canucks, the defenseman in the center. The team's tougher. They're a little faster. They got some real young talent coming up. I think this team's a contender to beat Florida and get out of that division. I really believe it in my heart with a healthy Swayman. But you lost Omark. You gave him up you put the cart ahead of the horse. You should have made sure you had one of them. I would rather have Omark than nobody right now.
Thanks, Ben. Sorry, we're up against it. Sorry, man. So they had to trade Ullmark because there was a $5 million guarantee, so they had to do the move. So I know that, hey, why'd you trade Swayman with that? They had to do that one. And I don't think Korpisalo is as bad as we all think he is, but he's probably not going to lead him to a cup. Someone screwed up here. I'm going to blame the Bruins. I never blame the player. If a player wants more money, Matt Stenberg, if you want more money, I will not deny you, sir.
Thanks, Joe.
No, you're right.
Good looking out.
Yes. If Matt Stenberg says, I want more money, I am team Matt Stenberg. Always. The team versus the player, give me the player always. Always. We got in or out coming up next. What's it going to be, McFly? We'll tell you next.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
I think he should be the guy that is the face of why you shouldn't gamble on sports. So therefore,
he's the example.
Yeah. So I right now feel as though they should continue to leave it out. But if they one day said, hey, he's in, no enshrinement, there'll be a thing, I'd have no problem with it.
Yeah, kind of in the same boat. All right, next up, Joe, do you like spicy food? No, you're a big food guy. You like the spicy foods?
Yes, it depends. Yeah, it depends on the level of spice.
All right, well, I hope Jaylen Brown enjoys spicy food because this Thursday, October 3rd, at I believe like 11 a.m., which is an odd time for this, he'll be appearing on the show Hot Ones, eating the spiciest wings known to man. Are you in or out on Jaylen Brown going on the show?
In. There's been some huge names on that show. I'm now kind of wondering what kind of tolerance level, because I know he can hold his breath underwater for like 7 minutes now or something.
I hope he doesn't have to like miss games in the preseason because of an upset tummy.
Well, here's the thing: is it pre-recorded or is it live?
I would imagine he's already done.
Yeah, because they're going to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah,
maybe that's already done. But some of those the hot on that show. You know what though? I feel like he could handle it right now. I mean, at this point, the guy can handle anything, right?
Yeah, I can't even imagine what some of those hot sauces taste like the Scoville scale or whatever it is with how spicy something is.
So I used to really like spicy stuff, and then one day my stomach started to like explode of hotness. I didn't like that. But, every once in a while, I'll. But you know what, though? If I want to eat a lot of something, I don't want it spicy. You know what else I don't like? The Nashville hot is sometimes too hot for me. I like spicy buffalo, I do. But, yeah, every once in a while, though, the Tennessee is just a little too much.
I prefer, the mustard hot. Because it doesn't linger forever, like wasabi.
The other thing is, I want to be able to, whatever I'm drinking, not to sting because it's so hot too, But I'm in on Jaylen Brown on Hot Ones. You know what? Here he is, right? Tatum's getting all the accolades. He's going on one of the biggest shows. In.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be some great audio to play for the show Thursday night. All right, next up. The Cardinals announced today that Chaim Bloom will be taking over their baseball operations in St. Louis after the 2025 season, so after next season. In or out, Chaim Bloom running things for the Cardinals?
And you know why? I feel like when people leave this city, specifically in baseball, people do well. There are a lot of Cardinals that came to Boston and didn't work out. Edgar Renteria, John Smoltz. I'm trying to think of some other ones that went back there, but, I feel like it's a softer sports town. Meaning don't get me wrong, they have great, passionate fans.
Midwest nice.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah, and I just feel like maybe his pitch and tone would work better there than here. So I'm in on it because we don't know if Breslow's working, right? They fired Bloom.
It's kind of more of the same.
But at least we'll find out if he can develop players and make trades and all that. So I'm in on it. I'm in on at least watching it.
All right, we got last one here. Woj left ESPN to, was it St. Bonaventure, I believe?
Yeah, he's going to
become like the GM of their basketball operations over at his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. That leaves the NBA insider job vacant. Rumors swirling that maybe Adam Schefter could pull double duty, be like an ultimate insider doing NBA and the NFL. In or out on Adam Schefter potentially breaking NBA news?
Out.
Just feels wrong.
Stick to football, bro. I'm out.
I also saw a rumor that Jeff Passan could also somehow be involved.
Dude, Woj can be replaced. He's just a guy that used to just get information and tweet about it.
Hire Shams. Take him from somewhere.
Yeah, he's getting the deal with FanDuel right now, so I feel like he's, you got to take that money, No, is there somebody in-house? Where's, who likes basketball there that they like? trying to think of somebody in-house there that...
McMiniman?
Yeah, sure, put him up there. It's easy for someone... Hey, Joe, would you like to be the social media person for the ESPN so you can just break news? Yes! Joe, I got to call him something else, though. Joey Sly. I don't know what we could call it.
We'll think about it. We'll come up with
Joe
something.
Jams.
Joe Jams?
Or, I don't know. I'll work on that one. But yeah, if they need a guy to break some news, I'll take care of it. Joe, hey, Joe, our intern Joe, he said he'll do it. Why not?
I hope they give you the Rolodex. Because that would take forever to accumulate.
That's true. Anything else tonight?
That's it. That was all 5.
All right. In or out on the were you in or out on the Alabama-Georgia game?
That game was crazy. I mean, 21-0, and then all of a sudden Georgia stumbles their way back and takes the lead, and then just immediately gives it up again.
In or out on college football being better than the NFL this year?
I'm out on that. I've never really been too much into college football, and I feel like so many games are blowouts. Like that game over the weekend was like, I feel like a needle in a haystack.
I will tell you that although there's more college football games than NFL games, I think the college football has absolutely dominated the NFL. I think the NFL's been a poor product. Like, really poor. The kickers, though. That's what we want to see.
College kickers are great.
More kickers. Someone got me. Who was it? It was the Miami game was wild, by the way. We were leaving here on Friday night. Or was it I can't remember, Thursday night? I can't remember what night it was now. And then the other kid missed the field goal for Washington. Made me upset. All right, well, we got another hour to go here on the Sports Hub. We'll get you the headlines here. And, well, what else is going on? We'll tell you coming up next. You'll have to stay tuned and find out what we have going on here coming up on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
At halftime, the Tennessee Titans lead the Dolphins 9-3. Nick Folk, 3 field goals. Remember him? Nick Folk. The other Monday Night Football game, because there's 2 of them on tonight. Lions lead the Seahawks 14-7 in this one. David Montgomery with a touchdown for the Lions. Patriots getting ready for the Dolphins. Next week, the MLB playoffs are set in the National League as the Mets won game 1, Braves won game 2, so Arizona's out. Chris Sale got scratched from his start today. And Cam Neely talking about Jeremy Swayman today. He said he had $64 million reasons, why to play hockey this year. Swayman's agent says they've never received a deal in that range. We have ourselves a controversy. And 2 giant sports deaths today. This morning, Dikembe Mutombo passed away at the age of 58. And we got word within the last couple of hours, Pete Rose has died at the age of 83. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Next update, 30 minutes.
Here we go. Boom. I win. Boom. Yeah.
Hit somebody. We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Around here, we call them the Joe Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz, afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Play clock counting down as percent leans forward. Stomps the right foot, takes the snap, stands in. Hit as he throws across the middle.
Christmas.
Intercepted by a leaping Warner. From the midfield stripe to the 40 right. 35-30.
get there.
25-20. 15-10. He's going to carry to the 5. Shoved by Gibson to the pylon. It's a touchdown. A pick 6.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. That was the interception thrown from Jacoby Brissett. Remember Brissett doesn't throw interceptions and turn the ball over. Remember that? So, how do people feel now about the Bengals game? The Bengals game was something they prepared for all offseason long. And now the Patriots are who we thought they were. Bad offensive line. The quarterback's not good enough. No receiving options. The defense not as good as it once was. The 49ers didn't even have their best players yesterday. They were toying with the Patriots in the second half. Pats kind of made it interesting, and then, Nick Bosa decided to show up and eat lunch. But the Patriots right now, no one should feel good about them entering this week against the Dolphins. Dolphins are losing right now 9-3. They have Snoop Huntley playing. I will say this about the Dolphins. They're dumb for not having a backup for Tua Tagovailoa. The Patriots right now don't have a veteran behind Jacoby Brissett, but leave themselves open to playing Drake May. And they have this emergency quarterback that you can have on the roster, but yet they decide to keep Joe Milton. I don't understand that one. The Patriots are who I thought they were. I predicted them to be the worst team in the NFL this year, have the lowest amount of wins in the NFL. I think Jacoby Brissett is not a good quarterback. Do I think he's tough? Yes. Do I think he's a leader? Yes. Do I think he's a perfect mentor for what Drake May is? Yes. But what is Drake May learning anymore on the sideline? I don't think he can develop playing in games, but at this point, I don't know anymore. I can't watch this. I think Alex Van Pelt's not calling good plays. It's all bad. And in a way, I've almost excused Gerard Mayo because I know it's not his choice. This is, want to know what a crap scenario for the Patriots would be? If Alex Van Pelt doesn't work out and Drake May has another offensive coordinator. Isn't that the problem with quarterbacks in this league? Working with multiple offensive coordinators? You did it to Mac Jones, right? I mean, Mac Jones had Josh McDaniels, Matt Patricia, and Bill O'Brien. And now Drake May could have Alex Van Pelt and then so-and-so. I'm almost curious if Ben McAdoo could start to get a look as calling some plays. I mean, at least he's done it before. The play calls are horrendous. The line does stink. The receivers aren't getting open. But the quarterback, he's not finding anybody. They need to call better plays. So right now, I'm actually blaming Brissett because at least on some of the passing plays, there are guys open. The calls that are being made, there are guys open. So right now, my order of blame is Brissett, Van Pelt, offensive line. It's bad. This is not getting any better, everybody. I mean, there could be a fifth different left tackle this week. It's bad. I don't know if I want to watch this anymore. You know what will get people watching, though? Drake May. It's just like, oh, yeah, we watched the tape, and after watching the tape, Brissett's still our guy. That's only going to work for so long, everybody. Because you know what? You're going to play at home this week against Miami, I believe. Is the game at home this week? Why am I not thinking that? Where are the Patriots playing this week? Can somebody look that up, please? Home?
It's at home.
Thank you. I don't know why I was thinking it wasn't. So they have back-to-back home games. Do you know what the Patriots' record is at home? It's not good. They don't win at home anymore. The home field advantage out. See you later. And then next week you get the Texans. Woof. And then a week after that you go to London to play the Jaguars,
who will already have been there for a week.
Who might even go to another quarterback. Who might fire their coach. They're just waiting this thing out, aren't they, the Pats? They gave this guy his money, and they're going to make him the piñata that literally that's what Dan Shaughnessy said about him. I don't know if I want to watch anymore. We're going to talk to Doug Kyed coming up in a little bit. He of the Boston Herald. He was there yesterday. Real quick, how did the Dolphins go from 30 points per game to barely crossing midfield anymore? Was it McDaniel or was it Tua? Right? Was it Tua or McDaniel?
I guess it's Tua if the evidence is that with McDaniel still there doing things and Tua out, then probably Tua.
I just don't want to hear anymore that Tua stinks. Tua's not a real quarterback. Pat's in Shrewsbury. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Joe. Hey, I kind of wondered at the beginning when they hired Van Pelt. It felt to me like he was more kind of a coordinator for this team, almost like a win now, like a best. Like his style was good for the current embodiment of the team, but obviously we don't want that. We're looking for, kind of a big play Drake May with the big arm and the legs where he can space the defense. And I don't get what their thinking would be to have Van Pelt now if their goal is to try to get a new one when May kind of develops, or there's the team for May to actually play with.
Yeah, and I hate that.
That was what we did with Mac Jones. It made no sense.
Yeah, appreciate it, Pat. I hate that idea. But you're right. That's now what they've set themselves up for. We're going to talk to Doug Kyed. We'll ask Doug Kyed of the Boston Herald. We'll do that coming up next. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Grab your lederhosen and bring your friends to Harpoon Oktoberfest on Friday, October 4th and Saturday, October 5th. Celebrate with brewery fresh beers, Oompa and rock bands, and more at the Harpoon Brewery in the Seaport. Visit harpoon.com for tickets and info.
Hey, it's Felger here for Catches Law, the official law firm of the New England Patriots. Have you suffered a personal injury caused by the negligence, recklessness, or carelessness of another? Whatever the cause of your injury,
Another game going on right now. Lions 21-7. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. Welcome in Doug Kyed. He of the Boston Herald. Doug, how was the flight home last night, bud?
Wasn't too bad. Slept for 3 hours on a red eye. Got home, rode up Mayo, then accidentally slept for another 4 hours. So tonight's sleep should be interesting.
Yeah, Mayo again talking today. Brissett's the best man for the job. I'm over it. I'm done. I don't think Brissett can play anymore. He's a good guy, great mentor. He's tough as hell. No one's ever going to take that away from him. But, I know you wrote today about potentially seeking outside help on the offensive line. How about seeking help at the quarterback position? They even dismissed the fact that they could bring another veteran in. I ask you, they really just going to keep wheeling this dude out but not play Drake May?
Certainly seems like that to me. I thought this might be a good opportunity to turn to Drake May in Week 5 when you've got the Dolphins on the schedule. Gets a little bit tougher for the Texans, but then you've got the Jaguars in London. This seemed like a pretty good stretch to put him out there. But, I do think that they are concerned about the offensive line situation. And if anything, it got worse in Week 4 with David Andrews being knocked out with a shoulder injury. I think they're still, waiting word on that to see the severity of that injury. You've still got the fourth string left tackle in there in DeMontre Jacobs. You don't know if Vidarian Lowe is going to be back. So I don't know. I can understand not wanting to put them back there when they're getting pressure 50% of the time. But as you mentioned, it's not working with Jacoby Brissett, and something needs to be fixed here.
You outlined a couple of guys who are available. They've been available for a while now. Donovan Smith, Leno, right? Humphreys is even with I think he tried out a year ago. Dwayne Brown, Bakhtiari. At this point, should we even think that they might bring in these guys, or are they just going to stand pat with what they have on the roster this year?
Up until this point, I kept hearing that they're going to stand pat, that they're not interested in those guys. But I did ask May about it today at Mayo, and he said that, he's going to talk to Elliott Wolf. They're always looking to improve the team. I just think that at this point, Caden Wallace has now been hurt. He's got the ankle injury. He was on crutches and a boot yesterday. So if they didn't want to bring in a tackle to, delay the development of Caden Wallace, that's no longer really a concern if he's hurt right now. And I think the offensive line, beyond even not helping Jacoby Brissett, you're not developing other players now at that position or other players on offense because the offensive line is so bad. You look at Demario Douglas and Jalen Polk, those guys aren't getting targeted because the offensive line is so bad and because Jacoby Brissett has no time, and then it's also probably keeping you from putting Drake May in there too. So I understand wanting to depend on your own guys and draft and develop and all that kind of stuff, but it's hindering the development of your entire offense when the offensive line is playing this bad.
You mentioned Bob Douglas. I work post-game here on the Patriots radio network. I was watching the last play of the game, 4th and 3. Bob Douglas literally walked off the field in disgust. Polk ran onto the field. Obviously, on the 4th and 3 play, I hated the play call, which I'll get to in a minute here. But Bob Douglas is showing his frustration. He wanted the ball after Week 1. When does this start bleeding into more than just Bob Douglas in that locker room?
Yeah, I think it's probably getting there somewhat soon. Devon Godchaux and Jabril Peppers both talked today a little bit about, players possibly being selfish, trying to make plays on their own when the Patriots are down. You're seeing some of that with the pass rushers rushing past the quarterback, losing containment. You're seeing a little bit on the edge in the run game. Guys are going for tackles for loss when they should just be setting the edge. So, guys are already starting to talk, not calling out players specifically, but saying that things need to be fixed. If they don't get fixed here pretty soon, I could see some situations, maybe not exactly like Trent Brown talking out at the end of last season, but maybe something similar to that where guys just really do get fed up because I know they like Gerard Mayo, but if they keep losing, then I think the discontent is just going to get worse. They do have a relatively easy schedule here coming up, so this is the time to prove that these guys actually are trying, that the effort really is there, because you can understand losing the 49ers. This week against the Dolphins, it's going to be a lot less. You can't really write that one off if they lose to the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins have actually scored less points than the Patriots this year. Go figure.
It's unbelievable. And I honestly though, the Dolphins are struggling right now. Snoop Huntley, 7 for 12, 35 yards. But if they lose containment against a guy like Tyler Huntley versus Brock Purdy, Huntley could run for 100 yards against the Patriots. He could run for 150. You can't lose containment in that game. So whatever is going on there with pass rushers running past the quarterback, that has to stop pretty soon here.
All right, talking to Doug Kyed of the Boston Herald. Doug, what are your thoughts so far on Alex Van Pelt? I just feel like he's in over his head. I don't understand some of the play calls. Let me give you the first drive of the game. 3rd and 3 on the 49ers 41-yard line. They throw a pass to KJ Osborne instead of running the ball, which would then set up a 4th down play. Instead, it's incomplete. Now it's 4th and 3. They go for it. Well, they try to go for it, then get the delay of game. It happened later on in the game. There are times where they go unbalanced and don't run to the unbalanced side. Is this guy trying to throw people off? I don't think he knows what he's doing.
I think there might be an element of him being over his head. He talked about last week against the Jets, wishing that he had called more running plays early in the game when they went super pass heavy. He said earlier in the season that he wished he had other play calls to use in certain situations. And then, on that exact situation on 3rd and 3, I really do think they should have run the ball because they should have been aggressive in that game against the 49ers. That's a game you go into thinking you probably won't win. So you certainly can't fall behind in that situation, and you have to be as aggressive as possible. And that is a place where I really would have liked to have seen them be aggressive, at least go for the field goal in that situation. You can't settle for a punt there. And then the other one too was 4th and 1 later on. They show the spike, they don't do it, they call timeout, they show that they were going for it, try to draw them off sides, call the timeout. Then they come back out there, try to run the ball and get stuffed. You've got a quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. I know he's getting hit a lot right now, but he was like a QB sneak specialist with the Colts and Dolphins early in his career. Just get up there and run the ball. Don't get cute trying to draw them off sides and call the timeout, then let them prepare for you. Just be aggressive right away and do it. So, I had a few issues with the play calling in this game. And, some of it's on Gerard Mayo because he's a head coach, but some of it's also on Alex Van Pelt.
Yeah, even the tush push that
right.
It's just such a bad look. Just sticking with the offensive coordinator here. Any chance Ben McAdoo? I don't know what he does. I don't know what his role is, but he's called plays before. Is that a guy that could call plays? And just another thing to add to that is, let's just say it doesn't work out with Van Pelt. Is it good for Drake May's development to have multiple offensive coordinators in back-to-back years?
Certainly not good for Drake May if you got multiple. I don't foresee them making a change with the play calling situation, at least until you've got Drake May in there. I think that's the card that Alex Van Pelt can kind of, pull out of his back pocket and say, well, we haven't seen Drake May yet. And certainly things could be different. I think you still trust a veteran coach like that to develop a guy like Drake May. And I think that's most of the value there in Alex Van Pelt. So I don't foresee a change. Yeah, you do have Ben McAdoo who's called plays before. T.C. McCartney might be a guy who brings a little bit more creativity to the offensive side of the ball, but it does seem pretty old school right now. But I don't know. I just think that until you get Drake May out there, you probably shouldn't make some significant changes on the offensive play calling.
So any prediction on when we see Drake May?
I would have said week 5, but now that's not going to happen. Gerard Mayo is saying that they're 100% behind Jacoby Brissett like they have been this whole time. At this point, week 7 in London against the Jaguars isn't terrible. Week 9, then you've got the Titans, the Bears, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Colts before a bye week. Maybe that's when you see them. I think it should be sooner than later, but like I was saying, the offensive line situation is tough. I think that if they get Vidarian Lowe back, I know that that's like a low bar to clear. At least you've got the guys that you want to start in there beyond anyone who's hurt like David Andrews. So maybe that's when they start to do it. But I don't know. I guess I'd say week 9 at this point.
Can you just explain to me why? I guess it doesn't make sense. They leave.
I could try.
Yeah, please. Because if Brissett gets hurt, then Drake May plays.
Right.
So why not bring in a veteran? Why not bring in somebody else And you can scoop up, and I know Zappy's available, right? There's guys that you can scoop up. Why would they even leave it open then? Like, it makes no sense to me.
I agree. I mean, they've kind of painted themselves into a corner in that situation now by saying that May had been playing better than Brissett at the end of training camp. So clearly he still needs to be the backup. And apparently it's not part of this plan that they won't reveal to anyone about, May being untouchable as a backup. So I think that that's all it is. I think that they want to, I think by bringing in a veteran that the rest of the team knows is worse than Drake May, that would just signal to them that, like, we don't care about winning. You might as well just not even try. I think that's probably the thought process behind it.
Aren't they doing that now?
I mean, I think Brissett, like, at least he's been a starter before. Anyone that they bring in right now would be significantly worse. So I actually don't. I think it would be kind of a weird look to say, like, all right, our team is so bad we can't put Drake May out there. We have to sign a veteran just to be a crash test dummy to stand in between Jacoby Brissett and Drake May. I know that that's what they're kind of doing with Jacoby Brissett already, but it would just be kind of a wild look to say, like, our team sucks so bad that we need to find someone to protect Drake May even more.
All right, any updates on maybe someone who comes off PUP, Kendrick Bourne's, Taki, any of those guys?
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne, the plan is for him to start practicing this week. So I'm not sure what the ramp-up period is going to be like for him because he didn't practice at all during training camp or anything. And then seemed like we haven't heard any word on Sione Taki or Marte Mapu, but coaches last week were definitely talking like it was relatively soon for those guys. So it'll help. It won't completely change the offense or the defense by putting Kendrick Bourne, Sione Taki or Marte Mapu out there, but it'll help take some worse players off the field. And eventually Kendrick Bourne should be a starter. It should be Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas, and Jalen Polk. Probably still one of the weaker wide receiver core in the league, but maybe not dead last, which is an improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tyquan Thornton just on the field, just couldn't even do the pick play and still got the penalty for it.
He's not doing anything. KJ Osborne's not doing anything. They are going to have a lot of wide receivers on the roster, and if the Chiefs are looking for a guy to trade for, like, maybe they try to pluck someone away from the Patriots. The Patriots have been willing to move Kendrick Bourne in a trade for Brandon Ayuk earlier, so who knows? Maybe they can make a move there too and pick up some extra draft picks.
Have you seen the Vince McMahon documentary?
I have seen the Vince McMahon documentary.
What do you think? Anything you learned?
I was a little bit surprised by it just because it struck me more as like a general WWE documentary rather than just a specific Vince McMahon documentary, which I guess is probably what Netflix wanted with Raw coming in. But thought it made Shane McMahon look pretty good. Obviously, not too much for Vince McMahon or Hulk Hogan or a lot of the guys, Bruce Pritchard, a lot of the guys that were defending Vince McMahon. But no, I thought Shane was pretty good in it, and overall, I thought it was entertaining. But I'm not sure if that was just the nostalgia of going through all the WWE that I'd watched in my life, or if it was a well-made thing.
Well, Pete Rose finally he got his final tombstone from Kane. It sounds like today.
That is true. Yep. R.I.P. Pete Rose.
Yeah, remember when he was the San Diego Chicken?
I do. He came out that was WrestleMania 14, right?
Yep, in Boston. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Him, Mike Tyson. I wasn't at that, but that's. I had like a brief spell where I wasn't watching WWE, and then I started again right before WrestleMania 14. So that's one that I remember fondly.
Yeah, it won't make the Baseball Hall of Fame, but definitely in the WWE Hall of Fame, though.
Absolutely. Hall of Famer one way or another.
All right, he's Doug Kyed. Doug, appreciate it. I know you had a bunch of traveling going on, man, so appreciate it, man, and good luck this week against the Dolphins.
Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
He's Doug Kyed, everybody. Boston Herald does an excellent job over there, and he got a nap in today, so I'm happy for him. And I always like to talk wrestling with him. If you don't remember, Kane tombstoned Pete Rose, and then the San Diego Chicken came out at the Garden, WrestleMania 14, and then Kane came down and took the mask off of him, and it was Pete Rose, and he tombstoned him again.
Like the Masked Singer, WWE style?
Yep. Exactly. So Pete Rose must have got paid a lot of money for that, huh? Mm-hmm. All right, let's get you your headlines here. I'm Joe Murray.
Sports Hub headlines.
To come in, be myself, bring the joy back to football for guys who weren't having as much fun. It's funny because you've made this environment for me very stressful up here in the booth, so I understand where he's coming from.
Do you feel it?
No.
Feel the stress? No. Well, I was going to say, I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. So there was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disneyland with my kids.
Yeah, so as you were saying, go ahead. That's you feel like I feel like there's more in there to say.
There's a way to approach this game, and it's that with the right mindset and try to push each other outside of our comfort zone. And great teammates do that. You come in, I have someone like Gronkowski, I have someone like Evans. There's high expectations for us. We got to make sure we go out there and deliver.
When Tom Brady was here and I came in to make it a little light, and well, I think the comments were taken out of context, according to Mayfield today. But I want that Tom Brady when he's on the television. I want that guy. I want that guy who takes shots and talks about how hard it is and how we challenge each other to be better. I don't feel like he can do that calling a game. But can he do it reacting to people's comments during the week? Yes. So I don't know. There's got to be a way to get Brady involved in something like this. Probably not in a pregame show setting. Probably not in like Edelman and Howie Long and those guys. Not like that. But there's got to be another way to get him involved where he can talk on things like that, because it was good. The other thing he brought up, which I thought was fairly interesting, obviously it was the Patriots that, renegotiated a deal where he could actually get out of his contract and become a free agent. Stupid. But there were a couple of landing spots, and he had to make a decision. We know he eventually landed on Tampa Bay, but there happened to be another landing spot. Let's hear that, Matt.
There was a lot of reasons to choose Tampa, and I made about 18 criteria why. And there was things all the way from the salary, obviously, to the weather, to the facilities, to how great the players were. And ultimately, Chicago was a team, and I never told that story before. They were very stealth in their recruitment. I was seriously considering, but in the end, it came down to Tampa.
The Bears. I'm not buying it. Matt Nagy. That would have. I had 18 reasons why I went to Tampa Bay, and none of them were the Bears.
Matt Nagy was a reason to go to Tampa Bay.
Yes, exactly there, Matt Stenberg. Now, I can see the Bears and their history and him being from, California, playing football in college in Michigan. Like, there might have been something there. You were not going to Chicago, Tom. Don't do it. You used it to negotiate with Tampa Bay to get a better deal. That's why you used the Bears. You were never going there. But since he left New England, he would rather be in Chicago than New England, everybody, because that's how toxic the relationship was. Imagine finishing your career with the Bears, who suck, than rather work with Bill Belichick. He actually went to the Bucs, who also sucked. But he won a championship. And this is, we do daily reminders that the Celtics are your NBA champions. This is your daily reminder that since Tom Brady has left, the Patriots have had 2 first-round quarterbacks, 5 offensive coordinators. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you had McDaniel, Patricia, O'Brien, Van Pelt. Whatever. It's going to be 5.
You throw Joe Judge in there too?
Yeah, why not? Sure. 5. Give me 5. Sounds good. Makes my argument. God. So, this is the question I have, Matt Stenberg. Dicka or Brady?
Brady.
Dicka. All right, we got the musings coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
All right, Murray's Musings here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. It's the final day of September, everyone. What a long-ass month. This thing. Labor Day weekend, and then 30 days of whatever we've just gone through. It's been long. Tomorrow is October 1st. Here's another thing that stinks about just today. So, in the real world there, Matt Stenberg, you never want the last day of the month and the last day of the quarter on a Monday. It's just, in the sales world, because you have quotas. And so, like, anyone that worked in sales today that I talked to was just, nope. They might still be working right now.
A bunch of my friends said they had particularly busy days today.
Yeah, it's just, Monday is kind of like Monday morning meeting, set up your week. You go to lunch at noon, maybe you extend it to 1:30, and you kind of just settle in, and all right, what do I got going on tomorrow? And then you do, no, today was, how much money are you coming, how much money are you going to have today? What's your goal today? Well, how much money?
That means you should be able to cruise the rest of the week, right?
Yeah, but guess what? Tomorrow, the new quarter starts. New everything.
But then on Wednesday, you can just cruise.
Now,
right?
That's up to you if you want to start a little late on the month. See, it never ends is what I'm trying to tell you. It never ends. But I have a story that I'd like to share. Saw this over the weekend, so I thought it was perfect for the night show. Headline, poop rained down on cars and pedestrians on a busy street in China when sewage pipes carrying human waste exploded and sent doo-doo way up in the air. Sorry, Joe, I know you're eating. How could I not click on that?
Is there video?
There is a video of the giant poop. It looks like a volcano of poop.
Talk about a day ruiner.
They actually call it a poocano.
I see what they did there.
A gross video shows a poocano blowing 33 feet in the air, covering pedestrians and cars. Quote, I'm drenched in poo. It's a literal poop storm. Stomach-churning videos show the moment human sewage erupted on a busy Chinese motorway, drenching cars, pedestrians, bikers, and what has been dubbed as a poocano. The explosion of waste came around 11 a.m. last Wednesday as newly installed sewage pipes suddenly ruptured. Shocking video shows a huge brown cloud of waste shooting up to nearly 33 feet in the air and splattering cars and pedestrians across the motorway.
I mean, somebody really messed up the installation, right?
Yeah.
Newly installed, and that happens.
There is dash cam footage of orange-brown geyser poo billow of pipes. I can't
That
read.
article's very descriptive.
I can't read it anymore. No one was injured in the explosion, but the powerful blast flipped over one construction site. However, several vehicles sustained damage from the sudden stomach-churning explosion, and the explosion likely occurred when construction workers attempted a pressure test. And the newly laid pipes...
I don't know what I'd do in that circumstance. I mean...
No, what can you do? You would just see a giant eruption of poo.
And you're obviously not home because you're there, so then you have to make a decision.
Do you think an umbrella would work? Would it come sideways at you?
I don't know. I don't know if an umbrella would work. I mean, I guess if you're like in the sweet spot where like it's all just coming straight down, maybe. But then you just toss the umbrella because You're not going to...
Yeah, whatever. Well, yeah, I mean, that's done.
You got to throw that umbrella away. Let's hope that doesn't happen here.
The chat is very funny. Birthdays today. Where should we start today? Barry Williams, 70 years. Fran Drescher, 67 years old today. Eric Stoltz, 63. Trey Anastasio, 60 years old. Monica Bellucci, 60 years old today. Jenna Elfman, 53. Marion Cotillard, 49. Lacey Chabert, 42 years old today. Maddie Ziegler, 22 years old today. Rapper T-Pain is 40 years old. Don't really see any other good Kieran Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother, 42 years old today. Remember Landon Dickerson? Plays for the Eagles. He's 26 years old today.
Good player.
Barry Williams is 70 years old today. That's all I got, man. What a bad day. Is there ever a September 31st? Would that be the leap year, or is there another day for that?
I think the leap year is just February 29th.
Oh, 29th. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. Thank you. But imagine if there was a September 31st.
That'd be crazy.
They call it Pucano Day.
Just take away October 31st, make October have 30 days.
Well, no, we need October 31st.
Halloween?
We need that. Ooh, we could have Pucano that day, too.
just the 31st of every month.
Yeah, just Pucano Day. Oh, Pucano Day, oh, Pucano Day. The pipes will be bursting today.
Dancing in the streets.
Oh, well. All right. There's your musings for tonight. I'm Joe Mario. Let's get you caught up with everything happening in the sports world. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Monday Night Football has two games currently underway right now. Tennessee is a 19-6 lead entering the fourth quarter over Miami. And in the third quarter, Detroit has a 21-14 lead over Seattle. Patriots getting ready for their game with the Dolphins this week. They lost yesterday to the 49ers. They may have lost David Andrews and Kyle Duggar as well. Jeremy Swayman and, well, the Bruins seem to be not doing well. There was a report of supposedly $64 million, $68 million. Or 64. And then the agent comes out and says, no. So keep your eyes on that one. Baseball today, the Mets are going to the playoffs. The Braves are too. And Pete Rose has passed away at the age of 83. Should also mention Dikembe Mutombo passed away earlier today at the age of 58. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
Let's talk turkey, shall we?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, in the sports industry, that's what you say.
Got your talking head right here, buddy. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Zolak and Bertrand get you through the midday. Joe Murray gets you right through the night.
I actually spoke with women today.
On the Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Final hour to go. Oh, there's another fourth down play I'm watching right now. The Dolphins are going for it on fourth, and, well, they got stuffed. Because no coach in the NFL knows how to run on fourth down. It is the worst thing to watch. How many times has it happened since you've been here, Stenberg, for the 3 days you've been on? Fourth downs. People going for it on fourth down and missing.
Oh, so many.
It's terrible.
It's got to be like 7.
It's killing me. It's killing me.
The Eagles do it like multiple times
a
week.
At least that's their style, right? Or the Lions, right? What are you doing here? You got this reverse handoff. Like, what? What are you doing? Stupid. This is who the Patriots are playing next week, by the way. The Dolphins. That's going to be what do you think the total is going to be on that one? 32? First to 20?
Hammer the under.
First to 15? Jesus.
Could be a 6-3 game.
Oh, no. Dikembe Mutombo. No. Rest in peace, big man. We got Brett. He's on hold. Hey, Brett, how you doing?
What are you doing, Joe? What are you doing, huh?
I'm working.
Back to me. I know. I'm watching the same thing you're watching, but I wanted to talk about Jay Sway for a second, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, let him go. Let him go. Corpuscello, after 2 starts, looks beautiful. I mean, if this guy's going to hold the Bruins hostage, what are you doing?
What makes you think he's holding the Bruins hostage? That's a pretty.
Well, I think he thinks he's better than he is.
Well, no.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's better than he is. He hasn't had a full season.
Hang on, that's a different story. You said he is holding the Bruins hostage.
Well, they don't.
Do you know what's going on right now, Brett?
Yes, I do. I know the $64 million. Yep.
And you know
I have a good idea.
You know that the agent came out today and said they've never seen that money or were offered that money.
Right, but the agent's also doing his job, and he's going to keep quiet about the negotiation.
So who do you believe here?
Who do I believe? That's a good question. I guess I believe Cam Neely, who's a fucking...
Dummy up. I asked him a question. He didn't know the answer. And the first thing he went to was a swear. He was going to call Neely something. Like, I don't know what it was. Now I want to know. Listen.
He censored himself there.
Yes, he did. Things aren't going well with Swayman in the Bruins camp. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm 50-50 no on him coming back. Normally I'm 50-50 yes. I'm 50-50 no on this one. I'm 50-50 no. I don't think he's coming back. Someone is lying. Who is lying? I'm sure a lot of people are going to look at Jeremy Swayman's agent, who's done this before. He did it with Nylander years ago. Nylander sat out until November. So I'm sure people are going to point to that one. But if the Bruins never offered $64 million, and Neely said it at a press conference, I don't know why, Stenberg. I don't know CBA rights or anything like that. But none of that. Can you even talk about this stuff at meeting? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that wasn't in the best interest of the Bruins. So if Neely's coming out and saying that, that makes me feel like it's on really bad terms. The president of the team is throwing out financials in a press conference. That's a negotiation that's private. How does that help Jeremy Swayman? I'm actually curious if there's some writing in there about that actually coming out like that. Not cool, bro.
Need to get a lawyer on the phone.
No, I know. Bobby's in Worcester. Hey, Bobby. Oh, we got to pot him up. Hey, Bobby.
How are you, sir?
How you doing?
Same old, sir. Let's skip a little over away from the Bruins after watching this horrible Monday night game. Time to give the reins over to May. Phillips got hurt. That's one less pass rusher they have to worry about. Just let May do it. He's a little more mobile. Just let him do it. And the best news of the day is the Fenway Group is not going to be going and purchasing the Celtics.
Okay. Cool.
Dynamite callers today.
That made
Joe.
you laugh, huh?
I figured he'd say something else.
Yep. Maz just texted me. Joe, the show starts at 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Thanks, Maz.
Well, no, like he doesn't have to do the baseball hour anymore.
Yeah, this is the last show till 11.
Well, there'll be some nights we still go until 11. You know, you work the Celtics games. So, I mean, you know, if a game's at, you know, we're going to be at 6 o'clock going forward, everybody. So tomorrow we'll be on after Felger and Mass. Great lead-in, by the way. And then I'll have hot takes right at 6 o'clock, ready to go. Bing, bang, boom. And then we move everything to the 7 o'clock hour, which in or out would be at 7:50 now. And musings would be at 8:50 now. And we'll have guests at 7:20 and 8:20. So everything just moves. It's like daylight savings. We just move up an hour.
Skaz will be back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm wondering what the traffic's going to be like for me now.
Significantly worse.
Yeah, because I leave at like 5:15 and I get here within 35, 40 minutes. So it's like if I leave an hour earlier, is it going to be an hour added on to my ride? I'm kind of curious about that. But yes, join us tomorrow, everybody. 6 o'clock. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I see people in our chat right now. No more baseball reporters. An hour of baseball is an hour too much. Joe time, the baseball never ending. Joe show just found out. No, we knew, Riz. We knew, bro. Yes, Skaz will be back from the dead. People think Skaz is dead. He's not. He went to a wedding.
Yeah, Milliken asked me that earlier this afternoon. He's like, is Skaz dead? I'm like, nope.
Everything cool with Skaz, man. Where's he been? What's going on with Skaz, dude? What's up with that? You know, it's like they don't hear him for what? Why is just there that Stenberg kid? Everything cool. Everything's cool with Skaz. It's funny when you're not around. I sometimes during the summers, Stenberg, they move me around. I sometimes do like middays or afternoons, and everyone's like, "Well, where's Joe? Why is Joe? Why can't he work his own show?" And sometimes, they move me up to prime time. It's like playing an 8 o'clock game on a Monday. We're getting that Thursday night, Sunday night game.
Getting flexed.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm getting flexed. I might use that from now on. Skaz not dead, everybody. Not dead.
I think he's on a plane right now.
Oh, right now? Oh. Well, Bill Belichick spoke today. We'll have that for you coming up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Don't go
All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. Do we know if the Manning cast is on tonight? I don't have it on, I don't think. But is Belichick on the Manning cast tonight? He usually is, right? Every week.
What channel is that on usually?
It might be ESPN. Sorry, that's one thing I don't know. I'm always here, so I never know. Let's find out. Let me see what I got.
Joe's checking on it.
All right. See what we got here. Manning cat. No, I don't have. Okay, let's see. Hang on. No, I don't see anything. I think there's only a few games this year they're doing it on, now that I think about it. So we don't get Belichick tonight. But we did get Belichick earlier today.
And the New England Patriots right now. Coach Mayo has come out and said, we have a plan. Jacoby Brissett is our starter. He is our starter going forward. You got a lot of Patriots fans calling for Drake May to get in there because of how the season's going. Then you have some Patriots fans saying, behind that offensive line, that's what we want Drake May to do. Have you been paying attention to it all? How do you feel like Coach Mayo is handling it? What do you think is the conversation that should be had about having a plan for a rookie quarterback and either sticking to it or kind of veering off whenever things aren't going as maybe everybody outside the building thought it should go?
Right. Well, Pat, I'll be honest with you. I have no idea what the plan is, so I don't know. I can't comment on that. If Mayo says he's got a plan, then I guess he's got one, and we'll have to wait to see what it is. I don't know, but I'd say there's a number of issues there. One is can't move the ball and can't score. Got a touchdown off the field goal on 63-yard field goal, whatever it was. Or field goal, and then got a touchdown off the fumbled kickoff. But, otherwise had a hard time moving the ball. And I don't know exactly what the numbers were, but the amount of time that Purdy had to throw was pretty high. I got to think that in terms of the amount of time before the ball was released, had to be the highest in the league or close to it. So I think there are some pass rush issues there. There are some, scoring issues, and the Joey Sly was a great, that's a great addition for him. They got a good kicker. That's a big upgrade from where we were last year. But I'd say there's some other things that have to be worked out, and obviously they got the protection straightened out. That cost them the game against Seattle on the block field goal. But we'll see. We'll see what the plan is. I have no idea what it is.
I'm just gonna laugh about it. Well, I don't know what the plan is. The hell are they doing over there?
We'll see what the plan is. I have no idea what it is.
The hell are they doing over there? Belichick doesn't know what his former team's plan is. They can't move the ball and can't score. 63-yard field goal and then get a touchdown off the fumbled kickoff. Otherwise, had a hard time moving the ball, Belichick said. And I don't know exactly what the numbers were. Yeah, he does. But the amount of time that Brock Purdy had to throw is pretty high. I got to think that in team's amount of time before the ball was released had to be the highest in the league or close to it. So Belichick throwing shame at the pass rush. Or shade, I should say. Shade. I don't think there are some pass rushers issue there. There are scoring issues. Patriots have only put up 20 points in 4 games. Or put up 20 points once in 4 games. The wide receivers haven't quite found a groove. One bright spot, though, however, the kicker. Joey Sly. When he kicked a 63-yard field goal, the longest in franchise history, by the way. He broke Steven Gostkowski's back in 2017. Belichick took notice. But he did seem to throw some criticism towards last year's kicker, Chad Ryland, who you drafted, Bill. Joey Sly, that was a great addition for them. They got a good kicker. That's a big upgrade from the guy that I drafted last year. I added that in there. I'd say there's some other things that have to be worked out, but Obviously, they got the protection straightened out. They got to get it straightened out. That's what cost them the game against Seattle on the blocked field goal. But we'll see what their plan is because I don't have a clue. I added that one too. Belichick's salty. I feel like he can't say anything about the Patriots. I feel like there's like some sort of like an agreement. He's given us nothing. Literally nothing. But continuing to throw shade at the Pats, doesn't know the plan. By the way, I don't know the plan. Does Gerard Mayo know the plan? Stenberg, you got the plan?
I don't think anybody knows what the plan is.
Who has the plan?
The other team.
They have a blueprint that says, Jacoby Brissett, he sucks. So you know what? Blitz him. I can't believe they thought this was going to work. Think about it. Think about the guys that were available. Like scrubs were available that are better than this guy. Sam Darnold was available. Andy Dalton was available. Like they cut Bailey Zappi for this guy. And if you guys could sit there and tell me Zappi sucks, fine. He's better than this. Oh, don't you shake your head over there, intern Joe. I don't think you understand. Bailey Zappi could sling. He could sling it. Everyone loved him. They all called him QB1. Now they're dealing with this bum. I don't think Brissett can play anymore, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think he can play. He's not a winning player. People love him because he doesn't turn the ball over. Well, I've seen the turnovers. I saw one yesterday that turned into 6 points. It's called a pick six, if you've heard of that before.
Never the best trait about you is you just don't mess up. I feel like that tells you all it needs to know about your stock.
Yeah, and then he, what did he do? He messes up. Here's the other thing. What is Drake May learning on the sideline?
What not to do?
What the hell is he learning over there? All the guy does is take hits. He barely throws the ball. There are guys wide open constantly. I think Brissett's a stand-up guy. I do. I think when he came here, he knew he was going to be a mentor and hold the seat. By the way, I don't know where he was going to get $8 million, by the way. 6 of it guaranteed. But that's what he is. And, Dan Shaughnessy coined him as the pinata. That's exactly what he is. He's out there getting crumbled and pummeled. And I've said this for weeks now. The same thing happened to Mac Jones. You show some life the first 2 games of the year. It starts to fall apart because the offensive line can't block. And then all of a sudden it's 38-3 in Dallas after a couple of pick sixes. And then Mac Jones was broken. What's the difference between then and now? Because Jacoby Brissett is broken. And last year, they weren't making a change. And every week they're not making a change. And every week they're not making a change. And every week, it's not making a change. Mac Jones was benched 4 times last year in a game and still got a starting job. Brissett's only been benched once this year. But what is the difference from last year to this year? It's the same thing. The line stinks, no protection, no wide receivers who can make plays, and the quarterback is getting killed. The difference, Brissett's not a whiny baby. The only thing is, Mac Jones had more talent and was a whiny baby and broke. Brissett knows what he is. He's tough as nails. Great teammate. cannot help the team anymore. It's bad right now. And I don't want to see it anymore. I am out on watching the Patriots play like this. I'm out on watching terrible quarterback play. It's been going on long here for too long. They've had 5 years to figure it out. And I'm telling you, once Drake May does get going, Van Pelt's going to be out the door. And there's going to be another offensive coordinator here, another left tackle next year, another scrub receiver that they got, probably another bad draft. I don't believe anything that team does or says anymore. So if you want to keep trotting out Jacoby Brissett because you think it's right and what's best for the team, then you're going to suck. Great. 2 games at home in front of your home team. It's going to be wicked. It's going to be awesome. Out. Got our final headline of the night here coming up. Give you the scores. There's a couple of big plays happening right now. We'll give you the scores, final headline, and then we'll get back to the Swayman story next on the Sports Hub.
We'll see. We'll see what the plan is. I have no idea what it is.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. September 30th, and it's the longest month of my life, I feel like. Tomorrow night, though, we move to 6 p.m., everybody. October 1st, new quarter starts, new month, new me, everybody. Yeah. New me. New show. New day. New time. New. Well, Ray's been on the line. He's got a thought. What's up, Ray?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How you doing, bro?
Pretty good. Hey, you got any good suggestions for like how to deal with like late night food delivery?
So, like, where to get it from?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are like DoorDash and all that, right? And Uber Eats.
Yeah, I just feel like those are kind of expensive. Like,
well, I mean, do you know what Old Faithful is? I mean, you say it has to be delivery.
Yeah.
Domino's, baby.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, you can get 2 pizzas now they got these deals where you can get multiples for $6.99. So you can get like 2 pizzas for $6.99. You can get wings for $6.99. You can get all those crazy like Cinnabon bites that they have and all that.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
But I mean, I don't know where. I mean, the only other thing I can think of is like Asian food.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. Where do you live? What town are you in?
I'm on 114
in Danvers.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what's open. Well, Sylvan Street Grill's open late. You can probably get DoorDash there.
Okay, that's not a bad idea.
I mean, I'm sure. Trying to think, is a Flip the Bird open? I don't know.
Yep. Yeah. Think about.
Patty Kelly's bar food.
Where's that?
Peabody.
Okay, man. Yeah.
What are you in the mood for? You called me. What are you thinking?
Oh man, I don't mean to bother you.
No, you're not bothering me. I'm interested.
No, it's all good.
I live down the street from 114. You know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I live literally down the street.
All right, cool. All right.
Yeah, okay, cool. I mean, Bill and Bob's is open until 3 a.m. It's right down the road, right off 114.
All right, man. I got to let you go. I think I'm going to go with McDonald's.
After all that.
That was funny. He wanted to let me go.
You called us.
He was bothered by me.
I'm going to save that for Skaz.
Chat. He needs delivery. Pizza places deliver, Joe. Chinese food. I did. Well, there's plenty of Asian food. It's not just Chinese. There's Indian food. There's all sorts of other things. That's why I said it. I love tikka masala. One of my favorites. Oh, a little naan in there, baby. I'm buying dude's high, but he knows he shouldn't drive.
Is there some self-awareness?
I don't mean to bother you, but I called the show. Dude had the munchies and go make some English muffin pizzas, bro. Oh, that was funny.
That guy had a hell of a Monday.
Oh, he's got to pay DoorDash for McDonald's. He didn't want to bother me, but you called me. He wanted to hang up so bad. I'm going to add that one to the highlight reel. I told you, you want to call. You get the time. Just keep it going. Do you think he was listening or he just called?
I'll bet he just called.
He just, hey, give this guy a call. He'll tell you where to go. All right.
Maybe he thought he was trying to order a pizza.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Hey, man, I just want delivery, man. You think you get me something, man? That was funny. Patrick's on the pike. Hey, Patrick.
How you doing, Joe?
How you doing?
Great to hear you.
What are you eating?
I just had a kind bar. But anyway, I'm on the pike.
Okay.
So I'm saying Brian Belichick, suspect. He's feeding his dad information. Alex Van Pelt, suspect. He ain't going to be here forever.
Okay. Who else is suspect?
And they don't want to play Drake May. Put Joe Milton in as a fullback and then flea flicker it and have him throw it all the way down the field and see if anyone catches it.
You know what?
That'd be exciting.
You know what, Patrick? They need to try something else. You know what? Joe Milton can only play in emergency situations. So, I mean, in an emergency situation, I think they can call it. I think they could. You know what I would try just for, like, giggles? What about, like, a pitch to Marcus Jones? You know, the guy that was too short to cover George Kittle? The fastest guy in the league? I mean, just a hit. You get the snap, right? Shotgun snap. And you just pitch it to him. And then he just runs really fast. Do you think that could work?
I think it could work.
But I mean, it's better than trying to throw it, right?
Yeah, I just wonder if him being on the field is, like, suspicious.
Don't care. Just like the Patriots are running the ball is suspicious, just do it. We were talking about this with Alex. They had all the linemen unbalanced to the left. They ran it to the right. The hell are they trying to trick? Just run the ball. It reminds me of someone in Madden trying to get cute. You suck. Run the ball. Michael's in Cambridge. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Joe, is there something wrong with Donovan Smith?
Donovan Smith, I mean, I think he's waiting for a team to I think he wants to play for a team that will, A, pay him.
Go to the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, at least here he'll get money. Well, are they being cheap? I mean, I don't know, you know?
If it doesn't matter. They have to, whatever we want. I mean, we need to put someone at left tackle who, you know, Drake May's going to end up like Andrew Luck. This is serious. They have to do something now.
Quick, my real take, though, I think Drake May would be better for this offensive line than Brissett.
Yeah, but
he can move.
He'll end up, running backwards and throwing off the wrong foot.
We don't want Steve Grogan all over again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it'll be Mac Jones too. You know.
But isn't that what happened to Jacoby Brissett already through 4 games? It's Mac Jones all over again. I'm just saying, I think Drake May, with a bad offensive line, has the wheels because he rushed for over 1,000 yards in college. I think he might be able to extend some plays.
Class should tell Wolf either hit the street or get a left tackle. He should have fired him after the draft. And, he didn't even have a job yet at the draft. They gave him the job after the draft. I know, wasn't that incredible? I couldn't believe it. I thought he was done. I figured no way he was going to get the job after that.
This reminds me of the ML Carr year for the Celtics. Like, they just put him as the coach so they could... It's a placeholder. Like, they sold us a bunch of crap just to replace Bill Belichick. And by the way, they're paying Belichick $25 million.
But we didn't replace him. We got the same guys drafted.
That's what I'm trying to say is I think that they're going to wait a year. Then they'll blow everybody out and then bring in the guys they want.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I know, Michael. I wish I would. Listen, Bill already told us he doesn't know what the plan is. I don't know what the plan is. We don't know what the plan is.
I think the plan is to suck again.
Yes.
And get good draft picks. That's a terrible plan.
Thank you, Michael. It's unbelievable. We had the Poo volcano earlier. We had the guy who called me looking for a delivery. I thought I gave some good suggestions.
All right, man. I got to let you go. I think I'm going to go with McDonald's.
Whenever you get the, it's like
Good thing you weren't having a sip of water.
All right, man, I'm going to let you go. I think I'm just going to call McDonald's. It was like he had too much anxiety on me giving him ideas. He lives down the street from me. I go to all these places all the time. Late night, when I get out, where do you think I'm going? I got options. I gave him all my options.
One place you didn't suggest, McDonald's.
I did not. You know why? Because it's... Don't get me wrong. I love me some Chicken McNuggets. And a, McDouble only ketchup. Because that's how I roll. Maybe a little bit of a McFlurry M&M. If the machine works. I gave him Domino's. He was out. They have a damn good thin crust pizza. You ever had their thin crust?
It's usually the only one that I get.
It tastes like butter.
It's like on a cracker.
Yeah,
consistency. It's great.
It's very good, right? Better than the flour pizza or the doughy pizza or whatever it is. I want that thin, buttery crust with extra sauce and extra roni. Matt in Warwick. Hey, Matt.
Hey, what's up, man? I just wanted to hear if you had any thoughts on Pete Rose. You might have already said it in your show earlier on, but I wasn't able to listen, so I just wanted to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
I just think it's a shame they didn't put him in the Hall of Fame. Now he's passed. Now they're probably going to pull the whole, I feel bad for him because he's passed. Let's put him in the Hall. They should have done it a while ago.
So I don't want to be the guy that talks too soon about someone who just died.
Yeah.
But I think he won't go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, I don't think either. But it's kind of a pain in the ass that he wasn't able to go. You know what I mean?
Well,
now he's passed,
Matt, he shouldn't have gambled.
He shouldn't have, but
what? But what? No. Shouldn't have, but what?
But now that it's legal, it's almost like the same thing with
No. Now that it's legal, you still can't bet on your own teams, bro.
Yeah, your own team, right? Yeah.
So now is it okay or is it bad?
Yeah, it's bad, but everyone deserves a second chance. Forgiveness, right?
No. No. JP is at North Providence. Hello, sir. How are you, man?
Joe, since the McDonald's guy had to let you go, I'm going to tell you, you gave me the best recommendation all summer. Finally took you up on it. Went to the Point restaurant yesterday down in Newburyport. Best place all summer. Thank you, Joe Murray.
Wow. And the lady liked it too?
She even threw for lunch, Joe. It was a great day, other than the fact that I had the Red Sox at 80.5 listening to Murray, so we both lost on that stupid win yesterday. But it was a great day, Joe. Great food. Good call. Best one of the summer.
Newburyport's unbelievable.
Joe even picked up some stuff there at the gift shops. We had a great day. Ate at the Point. Thank you.
All right, bro. How's everything else?
Going strong. We're making plans to go to Montreal. I had to get my passport.
They have a club called the Dome there that I went to when I was 17.
We're going to be going to Old Town, I guess, but I'll look for it. I like the clubs.
Yeah, and they have like a foam party and everything.
Absolutely. All right, I'll get a look. You got a restaurant in Montreal? You've got one everywhere else. Why not?
The Chez Paris Lounge. I don't know, man.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Stump the Murray, the new segment. Since the show will be ending at 10 o'clock now, I can get home an hour earlier. Thank you.
I know. Thanks, JP. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right, one more, and then we'll end the night. Matt is in the car. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Joe. How are you? First-time caller.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I love the North Shore talk, guy. I really do.
I'm not from there. I just live there now.
But I know, but you never know. You'd never know you weren't from there. That's what I love about you.
No.
It's awesome.
What do you got from
You're a classic. I'm sitting in line right now at a drive-through.
Which one?
I'm at Samad's.
Samad's?
Wilmington.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I didn't want to make the... I either go there or I go to Bill and Bob's in Peabody. I felt like taking the ride over here. This is a little bit closer.
Yeah. No, I like Bill and Bob's. I go there. I live down the street. Literally, it's there till 3 a.m.
That's a great spot.
Yeah.
I have to admit, there's another great spot also as well.
What's that? Where is that?
Lynn, downtown Lynn. If you want to take a ride to downtown Lynn, play some Keno.
Tacos Lapita.
Play some Keno.
Right there.
Which one?
Tacos Lapita. It's one of my favorite places.
Oh, yeah.
What spot do you like? What's the name of the spot?
Lazy Dog.
Yeah, Lazy Dog. Yeah.
The Lazy Dog.
Yeah, I'm a Fosse's guy, but yes, Rolly's next door as well. I live down the street, bro. It's my neighborhood.
I love that. I love it.
Thanks, Matt. Matt's loving life at a drive-thru. All right, we'll take a break here and wrap up the show here. I'm Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports.
everybody. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. New showtime, 6 p.m. here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Thanks to Joe, the intern, Matt Stenberg. Excellent job as well. Thank you to everybody on our YouTube. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, 6 o'clock here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Like my father's.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, the Patriots.
Into the end zone.